Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 335 for the week of December 5th, 2017. My name is Ryan Higgins, who's here with me this week.
Brock Sager.
Metaphorical Bryce Larsen.
Hold on, Brock turned his mic
Brock
on.
Sager.
There we go, try that again.
Somebody shut me off.
Okay.
Did mine come through?
Number one fan of
Taserface.
Taserface, thank you.
Hate
Thank you.
Taserface. Hate Taserface. Hate your troll tweets as well.
I like Taserface.
That makes literally one of us. Who are you?
Toby?
And hey, I'm here too. I'm Charlie.
Hey, it's Charlie. Nod. There you go. It's Charlie.
I like that. I like that. And
me
so
too.
does Charlie.
Yeah.
Well, we got a bunch of random crap to talk about this week. We're going to do a ton of questions. No real big news story stuff. So, but let's start. Well, Toby, we do have something to talk about real briefly here. Let's talk about.
I have pants on.
That's first. Let's talk about Heroes and Villains Comic Fest in San Jose this past weekend.
Okay. I have pants on there, too.
Yeah, we were there. I was there. You were there. My wife, Leanne, she was there. She had a booth. Friend Lane was there selling some prints and stuff.
Now, that's the girl lane. And
Yes,
the guy lane
and Guy Lane was also there.
also there.
Girl Lane and
Yeah.
Guy Lane were both
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Lord Mesa,
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Long time listener to the podcast. Remember him? He was on 2 years ago, right? When the
Yeah.
first Heroes and Villains Con. Good friend Stephen Amell was there, hanging out with him for a bit. No.
John
I didn't do-
Bernthal is
I
there.
didn't do anything. Did you go to the John Bernthal? Yeah, Punisher. Yeah. This is John Barrowman. John Barrowman was also there.
He was there also.
But did you go?
As Wonder Woman.
Did you get to go to any of the panels or anything? You were at Lord's booth
I
like the
was
entire
selling
time working.
art
Yeah.
the entire weekend.
Yeah,
But I heard you went to a panel.
well, the last couple of years,
I heard you went to a panel going, I could just walk in, and then you were greeted by a long-ass line.
the
45
previous-
minutes before the panel.
It looked more like a wall of people versus a line.
The previous years of Heroes and Villains. So for people that don't know what this is, it's a convention done by the same guys that do the Walker Stalker conventions. If you've heard of those, and
That's grown a little bit, huh?
oh, it's huge now, and
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, it's not run by Stephen Amell, but it is. He is a major force in it, and he's a big promoter of it. And it's kind of his buddies, and they get other people to come in. So a lot of the Arrowverse people show up there, and they had
Manu.
Manu Bennett was new this year. Emily Rickards. What's her last name?
I will just say Emily.
Emily. Yeah.
Because
Felicity.
there's a guy here on this podcast that will make fun of me when I say last name.
Felicity.
No,
Yes,
nobody would.
yes.
Nobody.
Wasn't if
Kenny Rosso's there.
If only I had a list in front of me before we started recording this podcast. What's her name? Fist of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was there too, right? Wasn't she?
Oh, Ming Nung Wei.
Yeah. She was there.
Agent May.
Yeah. She had a huge line. She was only there Saturday.
Yeah, she's rare.
Humongous line. So yeah, they had a lot of good people there. John Bernthal was there. Netflix's The Punisher. So that was cool.
Rick Gonzalez.
Because
Juliana Harkavi.
It's the new Black Canary.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Wild Dog.
Wild Dog. Yeah. So they had a good group of people there this year. I had to be a responsible adult and try to not spend too much money. So
you just sold art for your
in the previous
wife.
years.
What changed, by the way,
Yeah.
from previous years?
I think he was just too lazy to take that poster down and unframe it. He says he is, just spent too much money the last couple of years. I think he was just lazy to just take that down.
It's a combination of it's Christmas time, got important things to cover, a lot of bills, a lot of moving.
That was how
expenses
different
the
from the
store.
last 2 years. How?
Well, it's I went a little crazy the last couple of years, so I told myself I'm going to be good this year, and then all of a sudden all these people show up, and I'm like, God damn it! But no, I was strong.
You cried in the bathroom a little, didn't you?
I didn't cry and teared up a little.
I think
bit.
you should have at least gotten Emily.
Yeah, but then I would have
Because you would have gotten all the
But then
big
you
ones
would
at that one.
I did not take that poster down. That's
Yeah, see, I was right.
Wait, Emily, who?
Felicity from Arrow.
Yeah.
Damn you! I was trying to.
For once, I'm a thank Brock.
Actually,
that just gave me a shiver back in my spine.
I just wanted to know her name,
a
Toby. There's
shiver
nothing
in
wrong
my
with that.
spine.
Actually, wow, what is her last name?
I don't know, Toby.
Emily.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it's Rickards. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought it was. I don't think it's yeah, it's not Richards. It's Rickards.
You wouldn't have said that funny.
I don't know.
Well, why don't we test it?
No.
But I did. Yeah. So I was at Leanne's booth most of the time. A bunch of her friends were there. I wandered around. Got to meet a couple podcast listeners, which was always good.
Wait, couple?
Yeah.
Well, I only got to meet one.
Well, there was two of them.
Fine. If you say couple in that way.
Well, I think there were other people there, too.
Do you remember their names?
Did you meet two people and you thought that was...
No, it was a couple. But when he says couple people,
Yes,
I mean...
a couple.
Not a couple.
People.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so
English not that bad.
No, we don't know. There were a couple other people that came by, too. At least someone...
Well, they went to see the superstar,
the
which
other
is you.
podcast. Yes, but Matt, we got to meet listener Matt.
Yeah.
Came to the podcast, so...
I had a guy come to my booth, and he was super excited. He was like, can I take a selfie with you? And he's like yelling across like people trying to buy art.
With you?
Yeah, and I was like, me? He goes, yeah! I was like, this is kind of weird. I'm like, you sure? He goes, yeah! And then I was like, all right, I guess so. And then I was like, maybe he's a podcast listener. Then I was like, then I figured it out. He thought I was Lord. So I was like, oh! I was like, no, you want to take
You
a
want
picture?
him.
He said, that guy over there, not me.
That's racist.
Oh.
Why is that racist?
Well, because he mistook you for another Asian man.
Okay.
Anyway, so besides that, I did go to one of the panels, which I went to the first panel on Sunday morning, which, I
Ian complained about that, though. I came by, and he goes, he's still at the panel. It's been 4 hours.
Well, it wasn't 4 hours. It was, because you know how many people are going to show up to this thing. There's only one panel room, and they cleared it out after every panel. So I was like, well, it's 11:15. They don't let the regular people in for another 15 minutes. And how many people are going to be there? Well, unknown to me, they did let the regular people in 15 minutes early. They have like a VIP entrance time and then a regular ticket entrance time. So
Which
they did
are
let
you?
people in. Well, I was vendor, so I was separate. We were in early. And I went over there and it's like, yeah, there was a crap load of people there already. And I mean, every
sound like a
panel,
noob.
every panel was like beyond capacity, which I don't feel that was the case the other years. I don't know, because they had them this time. They actually had it in like a whole.
Let's put it that way. When I had a coworker said they were going to show up, and I warned the coworker, going, "This is not like a normal con. This is a celebrity con." Explaining that you guys meet celebrities, and that there's a lot less vendors at this. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not going to see a lot of things. I was a little mistaken with that because the vendors grew quite a bit in this one.
I think there was there may be a little bit more.
Because you got to remember, last year or 2 years ago, that entire hall was cut in half.
Yeah.
And there was barely any vendors then.
Right.
So now you have actually quite a few.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a.
I mean, it's still no WonderCon, it's still no Big
Yeah.
Con, but
Yeah.
it's a genuine middle con now.
Yeah. But I think people are.
Do you feel vendors are now traveling to do this con? It's
I
not
don't-
just the local folks?
I
I
think
don't
it's
think
local
so.
people.
Yeah, but I think there was quite a few. There wasn't, again, it's not like a comic convention vendor hall. It was a lot of Artist Alley. It was a lot of booths of kind of knick-knacky, a couple pop guys, a lot of toy guys,
Etsy booths.
a couple T-shirts, but not like comic books. There wasn't too much of that specifically. But
There was a
So you're
couple
saying you
trade
could have
guys.
cornered the market.
There was a couple trade guys.
a couple, yeah, but it wasn't like a ton of comic stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, a ton of panels, or a ton of people in that panel room. But of course, like all Q&A panel, it just there was none of these panels had like a point other than to just talk to the celebrities. So Q&A. Fortunately, it was OG Team Arrow, so it was
OTA. OTA.
Original Team Arrow.
Yeah.
The
right.
shirts they were wearing.
Yeah,
yeah,
get it right.
Okay, I saw those. So it's Stephen Amell, Emily Rickards, and
Diggle.
Diggle. Yeah, blank on his name right now.
David
Off the top of my head.
Ramsey.
Yeah, David Ramsey. And so they just answered random questions from idiot fans for an hour, and most of them were fine. A couple of them were horribly embarrassing. People just got up and they're like, "Can I have a hug? It's my birthday. Can you hug my mom?" It's like, oh, fucking kill me. This is the worst.
I love how. So I wasn't there, but I love how you're throwing shade at other people in these Q&A panels. When
Yeah,
you're
but
one of
if
these
Jeff
Q&A
Johns, you're like, can I have a hug? Brock too?
You're one of these people in this Q&A panel
I
with
wouldn't
all the
even
other
be
nerds
there.
and throwing shade at like the other nerds that are also in the Q&A panel because they like different things than you.
Have a little self-respect. Don't go up in front of a 500 people and your question is, "Can I have a hug?" Like there were some okay
Wait, did they get
questions.
hugs?
Like the first one did it, and everyone else is like, "No, let's see me after the panel."
Did they boo him?
Go buy a ticket.
Did they boo him?
Go buy a signature. No.
All right, because at Comic-Con, they start booing those people.
Oh, yeah.
No remorse.
There was one kind of like super uncomfortable question, but they actually handled it very well. This lady was like, got like real serious, and she was like, "Can you guys take more time and make a superhero that can deal with like drug and alcohol addiction? And like, what would you call him?" And they're all like, "Well, what?" But they actually had a pretty decent question because the Dad Canary, he's a recovering alcoholic on the show, right? Or an alcoholic at some time. So they actually kind of were able to sort of
Speedy.
And she was a recovering, or she had a drug addiction when the show started. But yeah, so they actually had a pretty good kind of out for that answer because it was just a really bad question. But man, these panels, they're so painful sometimes. I don't know why I go to them. I mean, it's fun to hear the people talk, and there were some legitimate funny moments. But
maybe we should do a panel.
This is mind blowing to me that like,
I'm just gonna go
going to a convention with nothing but like meat on display for you to go and see and feast with your own eyes and take $50 selfies with, and you're throwing shade at other people that are also there that like.
But this isn't just this con. I mean, this happens at all conventions, and it's like, what makes people think that these are one, good questions, and two, like they need people to like vet the questions before
that'd be funny. What's your question? Is this? Oh, no, that's a good question. Go on. Can I have a hug?
Well, that's the thing.
I feel like a lot of cons nowadays very quickly have learned like you just get a moderator who will take up most of the time.
Yeah.
And then you just open up the last 5 minutes.
The moderator also shuts down some of those questions these days. At Comic-Con, they're like, "No, sorry." They actually answer it so they don't have to awkwardly go, "Oh, no, we can't get up."
Yeah.
It just seems bizarre.
So, there was this little kid that was dressed as like Arrow, and he had a sign on his chest that said 5 years ago, right? And it was like kind of like a flash, like it was like the flashback, like text. He had like, and he was dressed up as like young Arrow. And Stephen Amell was like, one, that was a great question because I don't remember what the kid asked, but it was actually an okay question. And he's like, and two, your costume's awesome. Get up on stage. Yeah. And he brought this kid up on stage, and he paraded him around for a minute and showed him to the audience and sent the kid.
Did he hold him up like Lion King, Simba?
No, I mean, he lifted him up on stage. He put him up on stage. But it was like, oh, that's cool because it's a kid and he's in a good costume and he asked a decent question. It's like...
That's cool.
Like there was another kid that was like, why doesn't Barry just come whenever you guys are having trouble and solve all your problems for you? He's like, why don't... And they're like, yeah, the next episode we're just going to be playing Cards Against Humanity and Barry can go solve all our problems.
I mean, you run a comic book shop, though, and you're not used to these socially awkward ladies and gentlemen.
Being used to it and liking it are two very different things. I'm used to the worst questions of all time. I just don't like them.
Well, that's the worst question you ever got in the store.
Huh?
When does Sheldon come in?
Yeah. I get that a few times. So, ask better questions. Or just don't ask questions. And just let the people talk and just listen.
Or read comics and don't go to cons where the only point is to like see famous celebrities. Although, okay, fair play. If that's what you're into, that's fine.
People I like, yeah.
Just let the people have fun.
Yeah,
man.
Whatever.
It's negative Nancy, man. It's a fucking con.
He's getting old.
What's the Japanese word when you feel embarrassment for other people? I don't remember what that word is, but I definitely feel it. When I get this, I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm so embarrassed for you for asking this question. It's really bad.
But you have no problem selling them books afterwards.
Anyway, so then I get a text from Toby that said Brandon Routh was hanging out at the booth 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, you motherfucker, you need to tell me before he gets there, not after he gets there. You jerk ass.
Sorry.
That's hella funny.
Yeah.
But that's awesome that you had a good time.
I had a great time. It was fun. Toby?
In general.
No awesome after parties this year. They all had to go to a wedding, so the entire cast, everyone flew out and then flew back the next day for the con. So no cool after party stories.
Is that because they're just so used to awkward questions they want to GTFO immediately?
Probably.
They're like, oh no, we have a wedding.
Was it Greg Berlanti?
Yeah,
it was Greg Berlanti. I guess getting married. He's the producer on the show,
as you do.
Yeah, interrupting my con, my smuggled con after party. Terrible. Anyway. Toby, good times?
Well, you're not going to get into the party anyways.
Nah, I was too tired. Dude, I slept Sunday night.
Old.
I slept for 11 hours after that convention.
Nobody wants to hear about how much you slept. I guarantee
he's like,
nobody.
Panels, stupid questions. I went to sleep. I was so tired. There's scum on the floor and the window's blowing the wrong way.
Toby, you were in rare form today.
Leanne made me work.
The temperature in this theater just sucked.
There's
The
kids.
floors were sticky.
Kids everywhere. It's a Marvel con.
Kids everywhere.
Oh, that is a total DC fest. What are you talking about? Everyone's an Arrow show.
I had to see my nephew-in-law. He kept coming up.
Oh, dude. Oh, Miles. Oh, he won the con. He had like the best time of all time. Okay, so
he's
went up
also
to
gunning for my job.
He went to so again.
I'm serious. He's gunning for my job.
Nobody knows who we're talking about. Can we talk about comics?
So this is
No.
this is my nephew-in-law's Leanne's sister's kid. He's 10 years old and he loves Arrow.
He
and
looked straight
Flash
at me
and
and
all
he
shows.
was like, "When do you stop working at the store because I want your job?" I was like, "I barely work here as is, so you can take it."
He got like 10 minutes with Manu Bennett, and I understand the people in line behind him were like, "Come on," but it was like Manu was just like hanging out with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the kid just wouldn't leave, right?
Yeah.
And he got like some really cool photos and he got a ton of stuff signed for free. He scored.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Helps
yeah.
to be a little kid.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
yeah.
into the next con. Hello,
Well, or you could be like Charlie and just make like 14 of them.
Brock. Let me borrow your kids.
You can borrow them.
Yeah, my kids, you can have them.
So cons are always
free?
fun.
Well, they're definitely not free. Spoiler alert.
Looking forward to that next year.
So, is anybody going to the Brazil con?
Brazil. Yeah, I'm jumping on a plane right after this. What?
You sound really excited for next
He's
year,
talking
Ryan.
about the Deadpool tattoo thing.
Oh, there were tattoos there.
Yeah, they had a huge tattoo.
Yeah,
booth.
they were tatting people. You
Well,
like walk
they
by
also
and go,
had
I feel like a Deadpool tattoo. Let me just sit down right now.
Wow.
They put
Sounds like I
out
really missed
official Deadpool YouTube video of Deadpool talking about going to the Brazil Comic-Con to get a Deadpool tattoo.
For free.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a social media coup, I dare say.
Yes.
You could probably find some football games to go to while you're there.
But it's not a trailer, and it does not contain any spoilers, so you can watch
You
it.
can watch it.
So I can get a tattoo without being spoiled. Spoiler level 1. I love it.
So
No,
also
just
we
kidding.
have,
I hate it.
So some comic stuff. We talk about a few comics here. I know we all want to talk about Batman Annual 2 that came out last week. Toby, unfortunately, not.
And Punisher and Runaways.
Wait, what? What happened?
Batman Annual 2.
Yeah.
This was a
Annual 2.
big comic from last week where I
Yes.
know all of us got a chance to read it.
Except for me.
Except for Toby, but that's all right. You'll read it.
I'll just have to buy it.
You know, there's definitely a reason this thing was $20-$30 day one on eBay.
It was?
We sold out. Yeah. We sold out
it was
immediately.
it was $20-$30 before it was even released.
Yeah, I mean, it sold out from DC a week prior to release. There was a lot of so on the DC retailer forum, they're like, guys, you really, because they got it in like a week prior to release, and they were like, guys, you really need to read this and maybe order more. And DC doesn't do that a lot, so when they do it, people paid attention and it sold out immediately. And for pretty good reasons. You know, I don't want to jump on our best books of the year bandwagon or list quite yet, but oh boy. That's a good
Spoiler
comic.
alert, they're all written
by Tom King. Yeah. My 3 favorite Marvel comics: Batman by Tom King, Swamp Thing by Tom King. I don't want to spoil kind of the last little bit of it, but real brief summary of what the comic is. It's a very standalone story, and what I actually like about this the most is it's not exactly clear if this is supposed to take place in any sort of continuity or if it's not like an
is it
Elseworld.
because of this they have to write if it's DC Universe now on this week's covers?
We'll talk about that next. Next.
Give the summary.
So it's early day stories of Batman and Catwoman hanging out and
Smoochy boochies,
getting flirty, and
You're the worst summarizer.
and her coming in.
All right, let the master do it.
Okay, Bryce.
In
let's do
a
it.
world
Oh Jesus Christ!
where Batman is a young
Stud.
teenager. Okay, so it takes place a long time in the past, probably in the 70s, where Batman still had the Batman 66, although that doesn't make sense, Batmobile, and it takes in a world where Batman is young.
Okay,
and
good.
Catwoman.
Nice try, Bryce.
You're not
Nice
doing
try,
any
Bryce.
better than Ryan.
Let's start this over. So,
All right.
it's a young Batman and young Catwoman.
Sorry, Tom.
They are getting all flirty with each other, and it follows their kind of early days romance.
Smoochy booty.
But then time progresses, and we see how this relationship.
I'm taking over.
Hold on,
this is killing me here.
We see. I don't want to spoil
you don't need to spoil it.
Yeah, but we see this relationship through this singular, this repeating series, this repeating event.
Of a stalker that watches Batman and Catwoman getting it on?
Not a stalker, no. It's a repeating event where Catwoman keeps trying to break in to
Batman's house.
She keeps
breaking in to the mansion, right?
And other places.
Yeah,
Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
For smoochy boochies, eh?
Well, it's a little cat and mouse, if you will, right? And keeps leaving Batman little treats, little presents, little gifts. But what I love about this book so much, especially when you get to the last chapter, where it clearly stuff has happened, which I don't want to spoil. It's interesting because you're trying to. I really love how this is just. It doesn't try to place it in a universe and a time. Whether it's the multiverse, whether it's an alternate reality, whether it's a what if, whatever it is, I really like that aspect. And there's a couple cool shout outs. Like I love there's a line that Catwoman or the Batman that Bruce says to Selina, to be a little more accurate, about getting Barry and having Barry take her. Mm-hmm. I love that line again when you read it. It's in the very end of the book.
It's so hard to talk about this book without spoiling it.
It's a tough book. Yeah. Well, the book is called what's it? It's
Date Nights and
Last Rites.
Yes. So, Last Rites is
so basically, in essence, what the book is there's two parts to it. It's showing us kind of the early days of their relationship and how they interacted in those early days, and then it takes us to
Last Rites is a pretty specific term.
It takes us it takes us towards the end
of their relationship
and stuff. Yeah. So it's a
tearjerker.
It's a tearjerker in the sense. I mean, I read this thing twice. Mm-hmm. I looked up the song that they were singing in it. I listened to it on YouTube. But I think what's really powerful about this book is just Tom encapsulates Batman's voice and Bruce's voice and Selina and Catwoman's voice and Alfred's voice. Just in that line where he says, maybe she could leave some money. Right, talking about the gifts. But I think that overall, it's just a really kind of more like humanizing, like realistic feelings attached to characters that are superheroes / super villains.
In Tom King's run, we've gotten quite a bit of their relationship through the
rooftop
series
story arcs.
Yeah, and through the recent arcs, obviously. But this kind of does give, at least if we count the early stuff as being part of Tom King's kind of Batman continuity, a little more information on kind of how their relationship is processed through the years and
there was way back when they did the it was Superman Batman back then. One of the great things about that was you got a very clear understanding of how Batman sees Superman and how Superman sees Batman. This is very much a similar kind of thing where you get a very clear understanding of what these two characters mean to each other and how these two characters see each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, I mean, a good way to kind of look at this specific issue is it's the "I love you, I know" from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right. Just
a little bit.
Just that whole interaction between Han and Leia. It kind of is encapsulated in the kind of those terms, what they say to each other. This gives a wonderful example of how Selina and Bruce interact, or Batman and Catwoman interact.
Yeah.
So,
for anybody that's been shipping Catwoman and Batman, like I have been hard, just like Rogue and Gambit, for your whole Batman, I guess, reading career, this definitely delivers the goods. And I really like, to Higgins' point about how it's not necessarily, it doesn't say, if it's an Elseworlds thing or not. I like to think it's not, but don't mind if it is. Like, it doesn't really matter. And sort of, I mean, we've kind of already spoiled it, but the first chapter when they were young builds up to the second chapter, which delivers on all the emotional goods that just make you
it's like this is us issue.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Fuck, This Is Us, man. It's always trying to make you cry. So successfully.
I like, too, that Lee Beeks did the art on this, who did the art on the Batman Elmer Fudd book. And if you look closely, there's a scene where Catwoman crashes the Batmobile, and she crashes into Porky Pig's bar.
Oh. I remember she crashed into a diner. I didn't know that it was...
Yeah, you can tell. You can see like his face is like the that's all, folks. Like face is on like the sign.
Oh,
yeah,
on the hood.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
Great book. I mean, we've kind of spoiled it, but no amount of spoilage. Could take away.
Second print's coming out in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
How often does an annual get a second print?
Not often. Yeah, not often.
If it's written by Tom King every time.
I mean, annuals I also don't necessarily feel are heavily ordered in the first place. Like, if you want to talk about a book where the print run was probably way under what it should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, knowing it was Tom King, I was like, yeah, I'm going to order my normal Batman numbers because I don't see why anyone... But we were still sold out by like 1 o'clock or whatever. We sold out fast. Yeah, it's a good book. Now, Toby, before... or we'll move on here because you brought up something when we were talking about this issue. DC... as of this week, has a brand new cover scheme, a new little bullet, a new... they got rid of the Rebirth logo entirely from all their comics. I love this new look. I love this new layout. I don't know, Toby, do you want to grab one of the ones off the shelf there or something?
Sure.
Talk about
sure,
it? So
sure.
I can see it.
Yeah. Sure, master.
So the vast majority of the DC books, if you go into your shop this week and going on, are going to look with the new look. Most of the ones that, according to DC, if it was a mini-series that started already...
Except for
Black Lightning, for some reason, it's not going to have the new layout. So, like, Batman White Knight has the old...
It has the Converse logo.
Yeah. So, all the other ones are going to have this new look. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah. So, which is weird because, like, Batman Turtles has the old one. Mm-hmm. White Knight has the old one. But, like, yeah, we're looking at Batman and Black Lightning here where they have the new one. And so, Toby, to answer your question, as I understand it, because what happened with Rebirth is you have a lot of the miniseries and the other books.
Wait, Black Lightning is a miniseries?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
You had all these
on the
books.
other book.
You had all these other books that came out that were not part of the original Rebirth launch. So they were all in the same universe, but they were not... people did not look at them like real DC comics because they didn't have the Rebirth tag on it, right? So what I think DC's... I mean, it's true. So a lot of these...
Really?
I mean, I heard that from multiple people, yeah, that they thought, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, like Bane. Is that part of the Rebirth universe? I'm like, yeah, it's not part of the Rebirth launch, so it doesn't have the Rebirth tag on it. Mm-hmm. So I think DC's thought here was, hey, we want people to realize that Bane and Deadman and Black Lightning are in the same universe as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, so we want them to have a consistent look. So that's why you have the DC Universe tag on it. Now, so Toby, what they're going to do with a lot of the other titles that are like the kids' books or the licensed properties, they're going to have other kind of phrases or like DC Kids and stuff like that to kind of differentiate the lines a little bit. So... But I think it's a good look.
The thing
I really like it.
But
there is one problem. We'll talk about that in a second.
Well, I just kind of like that the Rebirth thing is gone. I thought that should have only been for the first issue.
Yeah.
Or the first year.
I don't know. I kind of feel like at this point it's fine to get rid of it, but I also kind of look at this as they probably didn't want it to stick around as long as New 52 did.
Oh, New 52 was like 4 years or something. Yeah.
I see this as kind of a non-event. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks fine, but the problem that I have with it, which is, a relatively minor nitpick, is the same thing as you, I think.
It's a big nitpick. They took the titles off the front of the comic, which at least to everything
story
this
titles.
Week, the story titles, right. And sorry, not the title of the comic, the story title. Yeah. They also took the part number off. So, like, Batman this week is Super Friends Part 1. Normally, it would say Super Friends Part 1 on the cover. It doesn't say that anymore. I think that's a huge mistake because Marvel started it with Legacy. I think one of the best parts of Legacy was the fact that they kind of took what DC did with Rebirth and they have their own little take on it where they have the title of it with the part number on the front. I love that.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier. Now, if we're getting crossovers or tie-ins to something like Metal or, whatever, they really have to have that tag on the front.
Well, the thing is I want to say I saw these online and I saw that, but I think they're going to actually put the story arcs in the little box on the bottom?
I don't know.
Because Black Lightning has a 6-issue miniseries listed there, but so... I mean, they don't need 2 of 6 if it says number 2 and then 6-issue mini.
Yeah.
But I think that they need to utilize that space there.
Well, right now it's going to have the Bat logo for the Bat family books, the Superman logo for the Superman family books. So every book's going to
because Dark Horse had something similar to this. Like they had the logo, and then they had the number, and then they had the actual like story arc with the number in on when they had their little side thing.
Yeah,
but that was back in like the 90s. So, I mean, it's I like it. It's nice, but
yeah, I don't like it. I don't think that the top left corner is any better. And taking away the titles, sucks. It doesn't suck that I'm going to talk trash about any of the books. Yeah, I'm still loving everything with the word Batman in it, but it's just it's kind of a bummer. It seems like they changed things, which went from a 5 to a 5, and then took away the titles, which sucks.
Well, I mean, looking at the old ones, it was nice to have the DC logo on one side balanced with the number of the title on the other side.
Yeah,
where everything.
Well, it was a header for a bunch of the Batman books.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was nice that they actually had the header going forward. This, I mean, if you actually look at it from a style point of view, you have this clumpy thing in the left, and then Batman centered in between that, but the artwork centered in the center of the book.
Well, either way, I like that it exposes more of the artwork rather than the whole Rebirth banner across the top did.
I feel like it's not.
It's not. It doesn't.
I don't think it's a ton more.
Yeah.
No, but so the banner always felt like it was covering up part of it. This just feels like you're overlaying the logo on top of the art. Like it
I don't know. I think that you're gaining like a centimeter of art, Charlie.
Either way, I like it better.
Charlie,
come on, argue what I like, Bryce. Come on,
Charlie. If that's what you think, then that is the correct answer. That's just fact. So I stand corrected.
So so DC fixed the whole. What part is it? And put the story arcs back on there.
Please put the story arcs titles on the cover. I think that's really important. Well, before we move on to our boatload of questions here, we do have a boatload. Bryce, you've been itching. You've been itching to talk some comics. I know you want to talk some comics. We haven't done it briefly in a while.
Oh, man. I love myself Batman and otherwise Marvel Comics.
You got to be more than that. You're like super low right now, man.
Well, I'm not super low. I'm very...
You're like 9.5 out of 10.
Oh,
where's our 12
You're right.
price?
That is a...
Got to give the people what they need.
That is super low.
Just started drinking.
Oh, okay. That'll be a while.
Let's see. What was the arc? The Superman arc that I've been reading. I started picking up a DC
Lex?
book other than Batman.
The Imperious Lex stuff.
Nope. The one before that. The one that just ended with his father.
Oh, the
Imperious Rex.
Oh, Oz-Effect?
Yeah. Oz-Effect.
Yeah.
Oz-Effect, read Oz-Effect. Have no desire to continue reading Superman. It was absolutely fine. The art that they have in Superman is very good, but otherwise Superman continues to be, kind of just very meh. I'm not going to say that there's not a ton of Marvel books that are particularly meh. I just was excited to read the Oz-Effect, and then found out that it had very little to do with the whole Doomsday Clock thing. Batman continues to be excellent. Otherwise, I just have a ton of great things to say about Marvel Comics. And I don't know, if you want me to keep going, I can keep going. If you want to...
Sure. Talk about whatever you want. I feel like it's been a while. We did our Bryce
Since
minute.
he's rambled on about a Marvel comic?
Yeah. So, okay. I need them in front of me to... You need to
You're
give me...
filling time.
No. I have a shitload of questions here.
No, you need to give me...
I just feel like
I'm
Bryce...
actually just amazed because typically any opportunity Bryce will just...
Yeah, and he's hesitant right now.
Yeah,
I think Legacy is new.
I was looking over the counter. He couldn't start the conversation. It happens. Bryce, happens to everyone. It's all right. He couldn't do the Batman thing.
That's what my wife says.
I see him fidgeting with his burrito. Like it just. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for you, Bryce. Come on, hit us, man. Let's do it.
So I'm gonna have to be
take a pass. Okay,
and not take an entire pass, but yeah, for the most part, I feel a little self-conscious.
You excited for Astonishing X-Men this week?
I am excited for Astonishing
the return
X-Men.
of one Professor X, apparently.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
We'll see. See how that goes. Okay.
I'm excited for the whole Phoenix drama, although I do need to catch up because apparently not keeping up on Jean Grey is going to bite me in the ass.
There was a couple questions. I think there was 1 or 2 questions about this, but yeah, we're getting a slew of Marvel cancellations. Jean Grey, as I understand, is ending because it's just going to roll right into X-Men Red. Guardians is ending. Mm-hmm. They're going to put they're going to turn Guardians into like an Infinity book. I think that's what it sounds like.
Infinity Watch.
I don't know what it's called. It's because there is like an Adam Warlock and Infinity like prelude books that are coming out by is it Dugan? Who's doing Guardians still? Is it Dugan still?
Oh.
And so they're rolling into a different title. So they've canceled Guardians of the Galaxy flat out.
Royals, all new, all different.
Well, it's just Guardians now.
Yeah.
Royals and Secret Warriors, I believe, are also both ending. So yeah,
we didn't see that coming.
I haven't read any of Secret Warriors. How Charlie probably read it. Was it? Did it hold a candle to the old Secret Warriors? I loved the old Secret Warriors, but I haven't picked up the new one at all because
it's got Moon Girl and Karnak in it. Like what?
This is one of those fun times where I'm like, I know I at least read one issue.
We read the issue.
I don't remember anything about it now.
So did they not have a Rebirth issue? Because I didn't.
The Legacy, they did. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, the Secret Warriors cover wasn't
it the Nick Fury one?
Yes, it was the
That's
Stranko.
The one I didn't read.
Yeah, it was the Stranko Nick Fury cover.
Okay, so
it's in your stack.
I either haven't gotten to it yet, or I read it and I forgot about it already. But I liked the old Secret Warriors, so that would be a shame.
This is not
the Hickman
anything.
Secret Warriors was good.
Okay, so
this is not like that at all.
The rant that I wanted to go on, that I'm not going to go on now, I have to prepare for because.
Are we also prepared? Speaking of prepared, are we prepared for Planet Hulk 2?
Yeah, I'm prepared.
Sorry. Also, are we prepared for World War Hulk 2? That's what I meant. Because we have Planet Hulk 2 right now. World War Hulk 2. They announced a follow-up arc for Incredible Hulk is World War Hulk 2.
So I only read the first issue, but it was a good first issue that I think you disagreed with me on incorrectly. But
Charlie didn't like it either.
Charlie didn't like it?
I didn't like it either.
No, you
but
are crazy.
Honestly,
Greg Land is...
I'll be the first one to admit.
Charming.
I am not a big fan of Amadeus Cho Hulk either, so it kind of feeds on itself.
Because World War Hulk 2 is apparently the end of Amadeus Cho, so...
Spoiler level 2.
Yeah.
I actually...
Spoiler level 0. No one saw that coming.
I'm sort of annoyed that they've literally brought back Hulk at least 3 times in some form that he's then re-died. They brought him back in Uncanny Avengers as a zombie Hulk, and they brought him back... Oh man, fuck me. I know that they've brought
Hulk
him back...
the End?
Or maybe I'm thinking of the whole that Legacy Vanishing Point thing as one of the other times, but they've brought back Bruce Banner, more than twice, only to have him still not back in continuity. So yeah. I'm kind of what?
Well, he got shot during Civil War II.
He got killed.
Shot and killed.
Well. I think even if you kill Banner, Hulk is just gonna just Hulk out of him, even in his dead body.
Yeah. Well, he randomly has regenerative powers. Some hero clicks would have regeneration and some wouldn't, and that's obviously the standard by which we go by. But anyway, so my rant about Marvel that I need to prepare more for is that you're giving Marvel Comics a lot of stick just by being you, which is charming to some people, but that a lot of them are not as bad as you make them out to be.
Hey Dan, a lot of them are good.
I'm just not.
I need to catch up on Doctor Strange, the Donny Coates stuff. I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, that's a good example of a very good book that doesn't sort of get the credit it deserves. Not that I'm saying it's book of the year, but I'm just saying there's a lot of very solid books that maybe don't get their due because we spend most of our podcasts arguing about your terrible movies.
That's okay. I'm excited the fact that they finally put out a Volume 1 Doctor Strange hardcover this week.
Yeah.
For the Aaron stuff.
For the Aaron stuff. Yep. All right.
About fucking time.
Oh, I was going to say, we'll move on to questions here.
Before we move on to questions, can we talk about the Fox Disney stuff for people that a lot of people might not know?
Well, I put it on the list, but yeah. It's not... Well,
I didn't see this on the list.
We talked about it. It was the only thing on there. We talked about it a few weeks ago when it was not going to happen, and now it's apparently going to happen as soon as next week. So there's a chance that Disney's buying Fox, and it's going to happen very, very soon. Fox Films, the studios, that is, the movie stuff.
Well... It was unclear to me how much of it was just the movie stuff or if that will include the television stuff. And
I don't think Disney wants to get Fox News.
No, it won't include Fox News for sure. But what I'm saying
news
is,
and sports is apparently separate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do they then have the X-Files rights?
Are we going to finally get our original cuts of Star Wars?
It's very possible, yeah. Because Fox owns episode, like what distribution rights,
and it's stuck with them.
Yeah,
I think it's stuck on some laser disc bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally down for this to happen if it means the X-Men and Fantastic Four are with Disney now. I could give a fuck about any other aspect of this. That's the only thing that I care about.
Dude, I fucking get a huge boner and lose my mind at the idea of X-Men going back to Marvel.
do, but I really...
But? There should be no but.
There's a lot of
you do like big
risque stuff they did. Like, I was thinking about this as I was driving in. I'm like, how awesome would it have been if they could have mentioned Captain America in Logan? And then I kind of sat there and went...
But Fox can still do it.
Because they don't want to...
Let me put it this way. Deadpool's not going to be walking around Disneyland anytime soon, okay?
Right.
Even if this goes through. They can keep the X-Men stuff separate and keep them R-rated and do all this stuff if they want.
I have to imagine, I don't know, does Disney, please say yes, have some sort of like Vertigo-ish branch that's like...
Buena Vista?
Yeah, Buena Vista, yeah.
Buena Vista, they could have some...
Oh, not Buena Vista, sorry. What the hell is it? No,
that's a distribution center.
No, it's
I was asking
not,
Toby and
sorry,
looking
not
at you
Buena
guys.
Vista. What
Toby,
the
I
hell's
apologize.
the company?
It's the
Is it Miramax?
one.
Oh, you don't know the answer. Never mind. New Line?
No.
Lightning. Touchstone.
Yes.
Yes. Is that it?
I think so. It's not Buena
Is Buena Vista just distribution?
Yes.
Oh my
But
god. you guys are
my
the
point
worst.
basically is the second they roll mutants and X-Men back into sort of proper, I don't know that they're going to want to...
Oh my god. Can you imagine when we get
Touchstone.
the end of the
Touchstone, right?
Inhumans and they stop trying to push Inhumans and we start getting mutants back? Oh my god. The Externals movie comes out before half of the...
No, I'm sorry, it's Miramax. But they don't own Miramax anymore.
No, they bought Miramax.
Yeah. Huh?
They bought it.
They don't own it anymore.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
it's Touchstone, isn't it? That's where all the
Dimension.
the action flicks came in through.
Touchstone. Yeah. Touchstone. Yep.
Because wasn't it Buena Vista like a long time ago?
No, I think Toby's right. I think Buena Vista is just distribution.
It's just a distribution center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Toby.
Because I remember that logo, though.
How right could Toby be? He doesn't have a case on his phone. You're crazy. You're playing with fire, my man.
Why?
Well, because you're going to drop it and it's going to break. Maybe when you lay down on the floor to take a nap on podcasting.
I think it's not because they did all those action movies under Disney, which is I think under Touchstone.
Yeah, it could be. But I think you're, I think you're unlikely to see, like I said, Deadpool and Cable.
Right, that
3.
is my only
question-
frustration is that we would get like fewer R-rated movies. Like I'm a huge Apple nerd. My only problem is that like Apple content will never be, risque or R-rated.
Yeah.
And I don't need a lot of that, but like I like a smattering, a sprinkle, a
nip.
a nip. Who doesn't love a good nip?
Whoa, okay.
This is going sideways.
Oh,
fast.
Toby, I love you.
So questions?
Yes, please.
I got a million.
I don't even know how this all started.
But we can talk more about it when actually
the Fox
stuff
Disney
becomes.
thing.
Yeah. If it
It's
becomes
fucking
official.
scary as hell, but ultra cool. We get the X-Men and Avengers.
Scary
Yeah.
as hell, but ultra cool. Confirmed. I agree.
No,
means
the
it's
whole
right.
Monopoly thing is scary as fuck. But on the other hand, it's super cool for us to get
it's
it
not
done.
what are you talking about? It's
Yes,
not a
it is.
monopoly. You have
Yes.
one company that'll be in charge of making the good movies, and you'll have one company that's in charge of making the fucking shitty average movies. Except for Wonder Woman.
So Casey asks, if you had to choose between Batman in the Animated Series and Justice League Unlimited, which would you pick?
Batman the Animated Series.
Batman the Animated Series.
What's the other choice?
Are we asking...
Batman or Justice League? He just says Justice League Unlimited. So
Batman
which
the Animated?
series do we like better?
yeah.
Oh, Justice
If you had to
League
pick one,
Unlimited.
I may pick Justice League too. I mean, I love Batman in the Animated Series, but holy crap, JLU's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just picking Batman because I haven't seen it.
Well, if you get to count Justice League as well, because Justice League has some really good parts too, but Justice League Unlimited was
Justice
Charlie?
League Unlimited.
I feel my shares are sinking, agreeing with Rock.
I
That's
have
only said that because of Harley
Go with
Quinn.
Shiver in
Batman
your
the
spine?
Animated Series, but that's...
Shiver in your spine.
well.
It's an
that a thing
interesting
now?
case
Yes.
because it's so stylized. It's so Batman in a way. Don't get me wrong. I think they did a phenomenal job with Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and there's absolutely episodes of that where I would like hold it up. But it's like, if one of those series had to go away, I couldn't give up my Ra's al Ghul episodes. I couldn't give up my Mr. Freeze
Is it also
episodes.
your
I couldn't
love
give
of
up.
Paul Dini?
Oh,
that Mr.
Paul
Freeze
Dini
episode
even did
is fucking
some
amazing.
episodes of Justice League. It's not like he was exclusive. No, mind you, he did more Batman.
Also, it's worth noting that you don't get Justice League without Batman.
Without Batman, but Batman but Justice League has Batman in it, so it's like it's Batman and everything else.
Well, because it's a DC
Literally
property,
everything else.
it's successful because it has
Is
Batman.
kitchen
in
sink
it.
in there?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, Plastic Man could turn into a sink. It's pretty easy.
Right now he's an egg.
He's an egg.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
thing in metal.
Sure.
He's an egg, of course.
Or he's a table.
Yeah, he's a table here at the store.
Or a mailbox.
One of our good
Back to
customers,
HeroClix.
Yeah.
Matt,
Well spotted.
Matt.
here on Twitter, he says, "Why did your bags and boards tweet spur so many
Wait,
really
your bags
long,
and boards tweet now?
really long threads?" Yes, my bags and boards tweet. They have a Twitter account.
Was it Saturday?
So
Saturday night.
I didn't realize this was going to turn into such a big thing.
Oh my
But
God.
I got to what?
Like you never do.
Like, your tweets are so annoying. Keep going.
Well, why are they annoying?
Well,
I'm imparting-
I don't even know what you're talking about, but the fact that your bags and boards have a Twitter account doesn't.
No,
The fact that you're smiling right
Maybe
now.
we should start a comics conspiracy. Like, it's
I was joking.
so annoying in so many ways.
That's not what
Your
I
bag
said.
and boards are tweeting me.
Well, he already made Twitter's accounts for his dog. And
Did I?
Nico at Comic Con Store.
Someone had asked, do we charge for bags and boards, which led to multiple very long threads about the reality of comic store
I didn't
retailing.
even read all of them.
Yeah,
It was
because it's a fascinating subject.
Well, someone asked if they didn't. I said, yeah, we charge 15 cents for subscribers, 25 cents off the wall. That is more than likely going up sooner than later. We've held off a few price increases, but I think the next one's going to be the one that causes us to have to bump our prices. But it led to this whole series of tweets where people were saying like, every store around me gives 25% discount and free bags and boards, and I'm like, and I'm doing the math and like how that's so difficult for stores to actually be profitable with, and the differences between kind of like newer stores and older stores, where it used to be like you had to just give away the farm in order to get customers, and now you're operating on such razor tight margins and you're not selling as much, but it's a higher budget. And it was a whole series of tweets. But yeah, no, I mean it's interesting to see what works for some stores and what works for others.
Is it interesting?
I think it is. Other people did. They've replied, so you should read it.
I actually find this interesting too.
I got tied into this.
No, because
attachment.
back in the day when I was at this other store, we did give them away for free.
Yeah.
But that was because
We did too,
Well,
for
at
years.
the time,
Yeah.
and we're talking about like decades because they were cheap enough where you could give them away for free.
Yeah.
That was a different time.
Yeah.
Now I did go down to Golden Apple, and I was actually surprised that they would charge me for it because I bought the comic, and I'm like, "Where's my bag and board?" And they kind of pointed me at it. And you could grab them from there, but it costs you whatever, 15 cents, 10 cents, whatever it was at the time, And I was surprised, right? And then it came back, and I think at that point they raised our prices, and we were forced to start charging for them. So it was not a right away thing. It was more like they gotten so expensive that we had to start charging for them.
I looked at the store. You give away. Our stores operate roughly on a 50% discount, right? So you're doubling your money when you sell a comic. If you're giving away 25% discount, you're giving away half your profit, all right? A free bag and board adds another like 10% on there of a $4 comic. So stores that are giving a 25% discount and free bags and boards are giving away 60% of their profit every time they sell a comic book. I can't operate on a 40% profit. Like, that's insanity.
No, of course you can. That's the Amazon model.
Well, sure. Well, again, yes. And in the 80s and 90s, when you're selling hundreds of thousands of comics, maybe the bulk made up for it. But that's just not the case anymore.
Well, that
right?
and prices have universally kind of gone up on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. If comics were $10 a book, I could give away discounts because you're making so much more money. But when you're paying $15 minimum wage and when you're paying rent like it is here in the Bay Area, right? I mean, the cost of everything else has gone up way more than the cost of comic books. Like, comics have gone up in price, don't get me wrong.
Not to mention bags and boards.
But everything has. Yeah, the cost of paper and petroleum and everything has gone up staggeringly.
The thing is when you actually break down how many single bag and board transactions you have per year, and you multiply that by what you charge for them.
So we have a point of sale system that we started using in 2009. I know exactly how many bags and boards I've sold. It's a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a humongous chunk of money that we've made on those bags and boards. And I'm not saying like I'm rolling in money. I'm just saying like we would have lost a staggering amount of money had we given those
rolling in dollar bills. Look, when I say that it's not interesting or exciting to talk about, I don't mean that it's not. I just mean that there's hopefully some MBA listener that listens to this podcast that knows the word. But like, obviously, there's this understanding that when you're trying to get customers, you give them more shit away for free versus when you have the customer base, you don't have to do that. And so there's that balancing act that you have to deal with.
But if a store's giving away all the shit for free, like they're losing all their income.
Mm-hmm. Right, but they're going to get new clients.
Well, but so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I've pretty much always figured that the subscriber price is basically you giving it to people at cost.
Not cost, but it's the bulk price. Yeah. It's actually now cheaper than the bulk price because we did have an increase on our bulk sale of boards a couple years ago, but I didn't increase the subscriber price, so they're actually technically getting it cheaper. It's not cost, but it's cheaper.
But it's pretty close.
It's closer to cost. Yeah.
I mean, you figure you're only making a penny or two off of each, or
when we sell the bulk, they're it's $21 for 100 bags and boards. So you're thinking, wait, that's not right. No, 12 and 5. Sorry, 12 and 5. $17 for 100 bags and boards. So you're getting it 15 cents if you're a subscriber, 17 cents per if you buy in bulk, or 25 cents per if you're buying them individual. So those prices they've gone up a couple times. We've been able to hold our prices, but every year they keep going up more. We don't have too many more times that we can keep riding that profit margin down. So I love talking. I mean, I like talking sales. I like talking shop stuff.
Don't get me wrong. Numbers. I love talking the shop and talking the numbers, but I wish that there was a business term that I knew that I'm sure exists that has to talk about. Some people give it away for free to get more clients versus you don't, which I think was at the root of the question.
Well, I think
your specific numbers are fascinating. Just your single example, but I think that there's a business term out there that describes the situation.
Well, when I think of it this way, if you're giving away 60% of your profit, you have to recoup that 60% somehow. Right?
Well, isn't it only 60% of the profit of the bags and boards? Or you're saying
no?
They're comic sales.
They're only making 40% of their potential 100% profit
of a $4 comic. If you're giving a 25% discount and free bags and boards, that is
so the 25% discount
is $1.
Is $1 off. So if you're getting it for 50%, you're paying $2 for it. You've now given away $1 of your profit just on that discount.
So what I'm also interested
and then another 25 cents on top of that.
So so this is interesting, and I guess I wonder subsequent to this whether or not people are using this as a business model to siphon off customers. In the Bay Area,
you have to siphon off a lot of customers.
To
make up for that profit.
Okay, then that's a great
tough.
data point. Yeah. But also, the Bay Area is such a weird market to measure because there's nothing like it anywhere in the U.S.
Well, I'm also assuming a lot of the people who are responding to this were not in the Bay Area.
Well, no, there were stores, some East Coast guys that were saying, "Oh yeah, everyone gives huge discounts of free bags and boards," and sure, if you could live on that.
There's probably also a lot of other store owners in places not as competitive as the Bay Area, where
right.
The profit margins don't matter
their
as
rent's
much.
not as high as yours is.
Sure. Oh, I'd go out of business tomorrow if I had that method. I couldn't do it. I'd be out of business in 1 week if I did that. And like I said, good time for a plug. We do plenty of sales. I do plenty of promotional stuff. I give stuff away for free all the time. We do all sorts of discounts. We're doing huge sales this month because we closed a storage unit. We had our big move. Now we're in holiday season. I'm blowing out a ton of product to try to get a ton of stuff off the shelf before inventory. So there's still lots of really good savings to be had. It's not like I'm every dollar, I need every penny from every book. God, no. I know stores like that. I don't do that either. If something's sitting around for too long, I'm very happy to get rid of it.
You had me pull sets today from 2015 out of there. I opened all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them went in our
set box or
our blind mystery boxes.
Blind boxes, yeah.
And then the rest, you're like, $1.
Oh, yeah, we're literally going to be throwing long boxes in the garbage next year because we're done, right? I mean, we've gone through so much product. We have so much overstock. We're just like, well, I've tried to sell it 6 times and the trash goes. I mean, I hate to do it, but I don't,
Can we go back to how your boards and bags are going to be tweeting now? That's more entertaining.
I'll tweet every time. I will set up a Twitter account, and every time I find a Toby bag and board, I will tweet.
My bag and board's a brilliant man.
So Toby was notorious when he was doing our bags.
What do you mean notorious?
You were notorious.
I wasn't.
You would straight up miss. You would just straight up miss bags. So they'd be like, "Oh, it's an empty bag in the middle of the stack of bags."
No, you just always blamed that shit on me.
It's a Toby bag.
That was not me. You just always blamed it on me.
Okay, just like everything else.
Yeah.
It's from Ulysses.
And by the way, we do bag and boards totally different.
Oh, yeah, you guys do them, like, upside down?
No, you do it upside down.
I do it normal, man.
No, you don't.
What the hell are you talking about?
Don't you know about the upside down?
Let's periscope this. Get some bags of boards.
No.
Higgins.
If they're going to periscope it, they're going to finally race.
No.
But you have to do the training and all. After the training,
we got a montage of us trying to, like, bag and board.
Bag and board.
No, Higgins is right.
Sweating and just, like...
Bag and board
just
competition.
Carrying the boards in your arms.
Yeah.
First time ever. Higgins is right. What the heck are you talking about? Upside down?
Yeah, he does it the wrong way.
So
no,
that's horrible.
First of all, bad radio. Second of all, I know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm telling Toby that he's wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. Ryan Higgins is wrong.
I do it like this.
Yeah, Toby and Brock do it upside down. It's really
what?
weird.
No, I don't do it like Brock.
No, you guys...
I do not do it like Brock.
It's okay.
I do it my way.
I've technically done it both ways now.
He's going sideways.
Hey, now.
His way.
No, it's my way.
I've heard it both ways. Ulysses.
Very, very nice call there, considering the movie's on
It's coming
Thursday.
this week. Yep. Ulysses asks, "What's the first omnibus you guys ever purchased, and what's your favorite?" Mine is the Frank Miller Daredevil. That's what he said.
I don't remember what my first one was.
I don't know. First omnibus, I don't know. I have no clue.
Uncanny X-Men Volume 1.
Omnibus. It may actually be the Walt Simonson Thor. That may be the first omnibus I bought.
That was early for me, but I think I got the Age of Apocalypse before that.
Okay.
I think mine might have been the Jim Lee X-Men.
The mutant... Like the 2.0?
Do we lump absolutes in that?
No, it's the...
Genesis.
Not the Uncanny X-Men, but the other one. The X-Men Volume 1.
Is that what you were looking for?
Oh, the
Jim Lee stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They did
Mutant
that.
Genesis.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was looking for, yeah. But no, yeah, they
Omnibus.
did the other one, yeah. I mean, there wasn't too many. They didn't used to do too many omnibuses.
Though if we're going to say expensive-ass hardcovers and don't necessarily label it as omnibus, then it's the GLA Avengers. That's my very first expensive-ass one. Followed by Hush.
So, like, the omnibuses sort of... As far as I recall, they started with a lot of the older stuff, and then they slowly started doing some of the newer material also, and... A lot of it started with stuff like Age of Apocalypse or the Walter Simonson Thor was early. Like they did a Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 with the old Stan Lee stuff was pretty early.
Yeah, it's really early.
And most of them have come back into print multiple times on those early ones just because...
The FF one is the Fantastic Four Volume 1 is the one I got signed by Stan Lee when he did the signing here. So and that was quite a while ago. That was an early one.
Did you have it done on the dust jacket or on the hardcover?
No, on the hard. No, like inside.
Oh, okay.
Like always inside. Don't do it on the front of the book.
Oh yeah. So that you see it much more frequently when you open it every day.
No, I mean that's pretty.
I'm just trolling.
You get book signed on the cover. That's
Man, you do argue with him about every fucking thing.
I know. Sometimes
Ryan could be saying something that's agreeable, and he'd start arguing.
Yeah, no. Sometimes more passionately than others. I agree with you on this, but I like to take the piss out of you a little bit. I think that one of the first ones was that Frank Miller Daredevil. Like, I think that was one of the first ones.
That was definitely an early one.
That might have been actually before my Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, but don't tell Cable.
I mean, I think for me, it's probably the Guardians, Abbott and Lanning that I like the most.
Alias was early in there too.
Yeah, it was there. Next question.
Next question. Why is Marvel so
shitty?
It's actually pretty close. Tom asks, "Did I miss something? Did you guys only do 1 week of Marvel Legacy reviews?" We'll answer that in a second. He says, "Regardless, what's your favorite Legacy title right now? Mine is Mark Waid's Captain America. So good." We did a couple. We did the first entire month. We did kind of a quick hits on month 2. We talked about it briefly.
No, I think we did 2 weeks. We did a full 2 weeks, and then we did quick hits on 2 weeks, and then we just stopped with 2.
Did we do the first full month?
No, we only did like.
Well, we did a
full one for 2 weeks.
Did.
Yeah, we did a full one for 2 weeks, then we did another one for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, but it was like.
And then we did
it wasn't a
no. We did the third one that was the boom boom boom.
The quick hits was
because there was so much.
Because there was so much of it. But well, I mean, I think we talked about this briefly. Our idea here is to review all the Legacy number 1s, but the first
How briefly?
issues briefly,
actual
3 hour briefly. But what ended up happening was a lot of these Marvel Legacy books were maybe not exactly what we thought they were going to be, and a lot of them they were not jumping on points. They were just more of what was going on. So, as much as I love to sit here and talk shit about Marvel for 2.5 hours every week,
that would be your MO.
That's a joke, of course. We decided that we don't need to review all these titles. What we thought about them previously is exactly what we think about them now. There's not a lot to say. And we
the
did
lenticular covers weren't that good looking.
We did quick hit a few of them, but yeah, I figured anything we have to say, we'll say as it goes on. And we have, we were talking about Doctor Strange earlier, the Donny Coates stuff, again, I heard was really good. And Mark Waid's Captain America, we had sold out of the first issue, and I haven't had a chance to read it since we got it back in, but part 2's out this week. I've heard it's awesome. So we will, as these books continue to go on, I'm pretty excited for No Surrender. That's the Avengers arc coming up next 2 weeks from now. Cause,
$6.95?
$6.75? Yeah, so not the arc that's right now because they're finishing up the Champions, but the next one. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the books that are my favorite now or my favorites prior. I mean, I thought Thor was fantastic. Defenders was great. I mean, one of the worst Legacy issues because it was just the last part of a story arc, but a great comic, right? I really want to check out the Doctor Strange Cap, so that's on my list. I've actually been liking the Guardians book. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with all the Infinity stuff. And Adam Warlock's coming back. I love him. So, yeah. Everyone.
I agree with that.
I'd like to got a favorite.
Yeah, my favorite is Cable. The externals, coming to shine. I mean, there's some serious '90s mutant love going on there. They're like anticipating where the soccer ball is going to be rather than where it is right now. And so in a good soccer player's profession, they're gonna. Anyway, Cable is anticipating that Disney's going to get the rights back from Fox, and so they're going to be able to have all the externals in that externals movie.
Wonderful! Can't wait for that externals movie.
Oh my goodness!
I can't wait to see Dupe in a movie.
Do you know what? Do you know what the
Can you wait for externals like the first Externals United, the movie that
do you know what the
rates
worst,
better on Rotten Tomatoes, and Higgins is just so
do you know what
raging.
The worst part of Disney buying Fox would be? It's the fact that we're going to have so much more Rob Liefeld showing up in shit and talking about Deadpool and Cable more than he already has. I don't want to see that.
I'm not sure that is the case. Then it is. Deadpool was a major hit. What?
Yeah, but when you're on Disney, it suddenly gets a lot bigger. I used to be everywhere. I don't want to see Rob Liefeld art in a Disney park.
As far as your troll comments go, that's sort of like a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
I mean, you could do better.
Okay.
Frankly.
Quite frankly.
Frank quietly. Wow, that was hilarious.
5 out of 5.
All right, next question.
Just like your DC movies. Okay.
No one else answered. Who's enjoying what from Legacy? Or was that the answer?
But that's the answer.
I mean, yes,
same books.
Cable is
no.
pretty much the only one I'm buying. So
yeah, but that started before Legacy.
Yeah, No.
So I'm loath to admit, but happy to admit that makes sense. I totally agree with Higgins. I mean, everything that I was liking, I continued liking, and got all the Legacy number 1s, and none of them changed my opinion. Now. I hadn't been getting Mark Waid Cap, and I liked the first Mark Waid Cap that I read.
Well, he just started
on
Cap.
Because
Legacy is his first issue.
Okay, so I did not know that.
Because it was all the Nick Spencer stuff prior.
Okay, that does make sense. Yeah. But, I mean...
Man, remember Nick Spencer's Captain America stuff? Remember Secret Empire? Holy shit. Wow. I blanked that stuff out of my mind completely.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. I had some drama earlier this year.
Good talk. So anyway, Mark Waid hopefully will do a little better. I was surprised that you would talk shit about that when Generation X is like so terrible.
I read the first issue. It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
Sub only.
Immediately.
One of many.
Don't doubt it. Don't blame you for it. Don't blame the readers for it either. Yeah, there's been a lot of mediocre stuff. I would love to compile like a list and briefly cover it in a succinct diatribe. But yeah, I mean, just like you said, I liked everything that had been going on prior, and nothing really changed my mind. And just like the Black Panther issue sort of failed the quote-unquote legacy test that we gave it to, there was a second one, I'm looking at the wall trying to remember which one it was, that absolutely failed the, because it was all about the villain again.
It was the what the fuck was that one?
Holy shit.
Good question. Good question, Charlie. He gets one a month.
I mean, beyond Black Panther?
Yeah. There was one other one. I'm looking at the wall trying to, and I know this is bad radio, but I mean, yeah, Thanos continues to be good. Yeah, there's just not a lot. I'm going to find a.
Oh, Johnny Coates is doing Thanos too.
Well, I'm having fun going. I can only see like
2 shows.
Books.
No, you're like 7 feet tall. Don't be an asshole. You can see more than me.
I'm too lazy to stand up.
Well,
Thanos is looking to get real good.
I cannot believe that Thanos is going so strong over like Secret Warriors, considering Secret Warriors could be a brand pushed by like the ABC show, right? Whereas Thanos can't be.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Thanos has been awesome. I've been loving Thanos.
And one of the most depressing things is how few copies of Thanos we sell. I feel like people don't. Villain books are tough sells, but it's been so good.
It has been very good, and it has been tough.
I mean, the issue after Lemire was okay.
Punisher?
Yeah,
I prefer Lemire.
It's still good.
It's still good, but
well, Bryce will think about it.
Mojo Worldwide, by the way, was awesome, but I feel like that has nothing to do with Legacy. The whole thing about Legacy, like Legacy didn't actually do anything. It was just a branding, marketing exercise.
Yeah.
Like,
I love how you said it didn't have anything to do with Legacy. I'm just like, but I don't think you could say anything that actually encompasses Legacy at this point.
Yeah.
Right. That was the follow-up sentence to the sentence that I said prior to the
I assume like January, nothing will say Legacy anymore on the title. They're just going to take it off faster than
yeah, but they'll still have fucking like story title issue numbers on the comic.
Hopefully.
They'll do something right.
Well, let's move on. We got a question here from Steven. He says, I know you already answered this on Twitter, but in case you had more to add during the podcast, I asked how the store was doing once you moved. And the store's doing awesome. There is the financial difficulty of moving a store. I mean, it's very expensive. But everything was planned for, loans and credit cards and everything is, it takes a while to pay everything off. But
moving in was as smoothly as it could have gone.
It ruined me for a few weeks, but maybe even still.
I've moved 2 stores.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of work.
The move here was a lot smoother than the other move that I did. So.
As far as like finances now post the store, without getting the real specifics. Yeah, I mean, I have a plan to get everything recouped, and we're good. We're on it, right? And everything seems fine. So,
the traffic's up. I mean,
traffic's way up. Even though comics are, hitting a little bit of a rough patch the last few months, there's still some real bright spots, and we've had some awesome events. We're up on the year. Over last year on like a lot of stores. That does have to do, we've been doing a lot of mail order. We've had a couple big moving sales and clearance sales to try to get rid of some stuff before the move. So that definitely represents a couple points.
Shipping out
couple percent.
Almost 40 t-shirts.
Oh yeah. Our shipping has quadrupled this year. I don't know if we'll be the same going into next year, but
it's just been increasing because
every year
I would come in and do back issues on Mondays and Tuesdays. That's what I was supposed to do. And then about 2014 was the last time I had touched the Marvel back issues like thoroughly. And you looked at these and go, why is it 2014? Are you lazy? I'm like, dude, I've been shipping stuff out.
I didn't say that. I know what's going on.
You tell me I'm lazy all the time.
When that Comic Hub when we get that Comic Cup POS, and hopefully that's going to be January. They've added some new stuff, and I'm going to give it one more good run through before we go live with it. That may add a lot of mail order to our list, so we'll see. But yeah, no, stores are doing great. Really, yeah. I mean, I could still use some money. I'm never going to say, don't give me some more money. I don't have a Uncle Scrooge money bin yet.
If you're shopping for a subscription place,
I want to raise
mail order. Yeah, January 1st.
Yeah, everyone's getting raised January 1st.
Really?
Yeah, minimum wage increase in
great.
yeah.
That's funny, Toby. Do I get a wage increase since I'm not an employee? Does that work?
No.
Yes.
No?
Depends if our Patreon keeps going up. You get raises every time the Patreon goes up.
So patrons,
And you get pay cuts every time.
yeah.
thank you for Patreon. Thank you for patronizing me, and everybody else.
And for people in every other part of the country except for California, the Bay Area, minimum wage around here is $15 an hour. So
what?
I'm not paying Toby like $7 or something like that.
Although he deserves
Wait, you
it.
did say maybe $7 at one point?
No.
Yeah, when that was the minimum wage.
What in the hell was California minimum wage $7 20 years ago, man?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait, minimum wage now is $15?
January 1st.
Really?
I mean, it's
Bro, you're old now.
13 right now? 12 right now?
It depends on the city. So
Because Sunnyvale's going to 15.
Sunnyvale's going to 15.
Yeah.
Santa Clara is going to 15, I think, in 2 years.
2 years.
So
yeah.
I think it's 13 this
13.
year.
Wait, I
14
remember
this
when
year.
minimum wage was barely $7.
Yeah. Is national 770 or something like that?
775, I
That
think.
sound right? Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
You don't actually
I need to
have
raise
the-
them. Day job,
San
too.
Francisco went 15 last year, or the start of this year, I believe. Right?
No, San Francisco's been 15 for about a year or two.
Give me a raise.
Was it
Bryce.
2015?
Yeah, I think it was 2015
raise
that they raised it
something.
up.
Or 2016? I went?
2016,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, can we talk about how Elon Musk is Tony Stark? You guys want to talk about that?
Sure.
Tony Stark, Elon Musk. This guy is fucking like creating hyperloops all over the United States. He's flying us to
I am
Mars.
so excited to get into a tube like in Futurama and just thunk and just shoot myself to other cities.
I mean, it probably won't make such
Incredible.
a
You're gonna
silly,
throw up.
ridiculous sound,
Incredible.
but like,
You're going to throw up.
He's just going to load it on his phone so he can get the sound.
yeah, not much better than yours. Yeah, Tony Stark, Elon Musk, yeah, Hyperloop, the Boring Company. Good on him.
I love the Boring Company. It's the greatest.
Dude, how about
It's
the
the
fact-
funniest name of all time.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And how about the fact that Logan, this Academy Award worthy movie? Wait, what the fuck was that from last February or this past February?
No, this year.
Okay, good.
Logan's this year. Yeah.
I still think there's some troll on Facebook that disagreed, but I still think that he deserves a nomination. Hugh Jackman, that is. But yeah, there was like they had those self-driving big rigs in the movie. That seemed so like what the fuck and random like in the movie until you think about the fact that like that's gonna be next year. Like that's gonna be 2018, 2019. We're gonna
Batman took a dive.
Ghost.
Batman took a dive?
Yeah.
yeah. For those of you listening at home,
Batman just suicided off the second top
Batman
shelf.
comes-
He's like,
just fell
this
off
is
the
shit
wall.
radio. Moved on to the next question.
Yes. Well, anyway, yeah, so there's going to be like autonomous big rigs, that are actually safe and in mass production starting in 2018, 2019, and it's thanks to Elon Musk. So that's pretty cool. Flying to Mars, which is also like sort of a comic-ish dream, Elon Musk as well.
Are we getting
So
the
he's
Amazon?
also Reed Richards.
No, Tony Stark would figure that shit out unless he was fighting
Aren't we actually
Magneto
getting the
in
Amazon-
the fucking Avengers versus X-Men, and they have this awful, awful battle between them where they're like, oh, of course you would set up a bunch of satellites so that Iron Man would lose to Magneto. Unbelievable.
The audience is now deaf.
But we've restored Bryce.
Unbelievable, though, that they would even consider, and that is such a troll move that they
beer
would
is
do,
mostly
like,
gone now.
oh, we are just going to do this to piss off Toby, and by doing so, piss off Bryce.
Iron Man
Because
would lose to Magneto? Is that what you said? Of course
In
he would lose to
AVX.
Magneto. Sure, of course he would lose to Magneto. Why?
Oh,
He's Magneto.
did I say that wrong? Because in AVX, Iron Man beats Magneto.
I kind of remember that. Yeah, it's just super dumb.
Super dumb. Very dumb. Incredibly dumb. Apologies if I said that wrong, but you know what I meant. Anyway, yeah, Elon Musk. He's awesome.
Aren't we getting the drones too around here?
Like
hopefully
the Amazon drones.
Electric big rigs coming. Thanks to Elon Musk.
Just deliver the video game right into my PS4. Just boop. Just right through my window.
Or an end to world pollution. Thanks, Higgins.
Whatever.
Between you and Elon Musk, one of you has your priorities straight.
Tom also asks, who's this Scott dude that's been hanging out on the podcast recently? I'd get a beer with Scott. Yeah, Scott's a good guy. Scott's one of our long time customers. Super chill dude. He was out of the area for a while, but he's back here now working.
Well, I think someone here has way more history with Scott.
Yeah, wait a minute. Was Scott so cool? By the way, Scott is awesome.
I've known Scott for like 20 years.
Yeah, but I think Bryce got you.
Have you slept with Scott?
I can't say that.
I think Bryce got you.
All right, so
the fact that I know Bryce got you means something too.
Cave, remember?
Anyway, Scott is awesome. But if you're looking for Scott for a beer, you might be. I'm trying to think of a clever way to segue myself to getting a beer with this guy and Scott. Invite me is I guess where I'm going with that. Anyway, yeah. So Scott's a good guy. Scott's got more money for ridiculous, expensive, money-hating comic book buying than I do.
He is the person with the best collection that I know personally.
He's also a great
Bryce is second.
Moderator of the normals. I consider myself to be the only one at this.
Oh, he listens to like the worst music of all time too. Sorry, Scott.
What?
Just the horrible music.
What?
So that basically,
although he listens to the music I like too, so that's great. But he also listens to terrible music.
That basically confirms that he's the best best normal of this whole audience.
Oh yeah,
you guys are all the worst.
Agreed.
Yeah. So anyway, Scott.
If you've heard the story of me getting a Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man #1 signed by Stan Lee, those are Scott's.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
don't rob him.
He also is the guy that wouldn't sell me Daredevil #1.
Now it's worth a lot more.
I processed his 90s books.
Yeah. That was a winner.
Fuck, there was a lot of them.
Due to the fact that Twitter now allows really long usernames, let's just say this guy's name is Chris. What are some of your favorite comics right now?
What is it?
Well,
Chris that wear clothes?
What?
No, it's Chris with no pants. Mind blown. Now
what are some of your favorite comics right now? Not from the big two. Again, not
plenty if you read mangas.
Not to too early drop my
drop your deuce.
Drop my pants. No, what's the word I'm looking for here? Drop my best of list for 2018 or 2017. But
Ryan,
boy, my indie reading is.
Who boy what?
What
Zero.
Zero.
What indie
these
reading?
days. It's so bad.
That was a big lead up to the climax of any lady's nightmare. Like,
I have
the worst mic drop ever.
I might not have read.
Oh my god.
A single issue.
A single indie comic all year that's not the same stuff that I already read. Like
you have a 0-star rating on Indie Tinder.
It's so bad right now.
Indie Tinder gives you 0 stars.
It is not that I don't want to. It's just a time thing, right? I mean, I don't have time because I've been moving all my indie stuff over to graphic novel, and I have a stack of them that I need to read, and I have a stack of them in the store I need to read. I've just been so behind. So there's a ton of really good stuff I want to read, but shit, I've been reading nothing.
It is also tough because if you're going to collect it in the graphic novel format, by the time they have 6 issues come out and then collect the graphic novel, it's been a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that the graphic novels are now coming out that I want to read, and I'm like, cool. Okay, I'll get to this someday when I get to everything else.
This 2016 book was awesome.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Hey, you guys hear about this Paper Girls book? It's really good. Paper Girls is one that I've actually been kind of trying to keep up on.
It's not even that good. I mean...
It's not?
Nah, it started off great, and like any Brian K. Vaughan book, I'm sure it's going to end really well, but it's meandering.
This has been from a retailer point of view, this has been a tough year for indies. We've not had any big indie hits. I mean, there's good titles, right? But our indie numbers are way down on the single issues.
Well, I mean, because if you look at the titles that are still consistent or still going, I mean, where are you going to get? It's the same ones. You're not going to get any new readership after issue 30.
Yeah, it's real tough. on the sales end of it, so many of our independent books are subscription only, most are 0 copies. I don't order. A lot of them are subscription only, and a handful we sell a decent amount of copies off the shelf. So I'm not saying like we don't carry indie books. We carry a ton of them. It's just a lot of them we don't carry many copies of. Yeah. So,
well, I know last week you didn't even order any John Wick. And everyone was like,
"It's a perfect example of a title." Yeah. So this John Wick comic comes out. I'm like, John Wick comic? I'm not gonna order this garbage. I know I have 6 subscribers for it. Thanks, guys.
John Wick is the movies are awesome.
Yeah, but like,
I haven't watched them yet.
No, I haven't watched them, but I have no.
I own both of them. I love them.
You own both of them, spoiling nobody.
What, John Wick books?
No, the movies.
Oh.
But nobody ordered this comic.
Nobody pre-ordered.
Nobody pre-ordered it. Nobody told me they wanted it. And people come in like, hey, do you got this? I'm like, no, but I can get it. Cool. I'll take them all. All right.
Like, and you forget to order them.
I ordered all of them.
You ordered
They come in a month later, guys, and here you go. Oh, they're still on their way.
Wait for it. They're real customers, so I actually ordered them.
Zing!
Zing, nice, Toby.
So, they pick up their comics, so they actually give me money. So I already ordered it.
Twice done.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
I give you real money too.
That's fine. So the second time around the chain, just come back around.
Shoot me!
You guys are such losers. It was such a fine joke for you to harp on so badly.
One more time around, third time around. There we go. Okay.
It was twice around total. Like you're fucking such a loser for harping
3?
on it.
Well, we have to set up
comedy of 3s. It would have been funnier the third time.
What would it have been?
Yeah, comedy of 3s, man.
You know what would have been the least funny is if you kept bringing it up. Oh, wait, that has already happened multiple
Hey, who's
times.
reading an independent comic this year that they like? Brock?
Headlopper.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week.
Shirtless Bearfighter?
It's just pretty much...
You're in that?
No.
I saw it.
But it looks
Tokyo Land.
But it looks awesome. Didn't you say like who's read an independent comic that they like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee you if I read that, I would like it. I mean, come on.
That doesn't count,
my top 3 independent books of the year, if I read them, that I would like.
No. Unlike you, I'm not spoiling my actual list. No. I mean, joking aside, it's hilarious. I've not read it, but it sounds fucking awesome. And
you read 7 to Eternity?
Well, yeah, but unlike Higgins, I'm not going to talk about my end of the year list.
But how do I have so many goddamn questions on here? Okay, we're gonna have to get through some of these.
7 to Eternity is the best ever, but I'm not going to talk about it until the end of the year.
I mean, pretty much stuff I was reading before: Manifest Destiny, Lazarus, Southern Bastards, if it actually ever comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think the independent market suffers from inconsistency and just kind of an oversaturation of random stuff and not enough focus on...
Yeah, welcome to 2001. Like, I mean, hasn't that literally always been the issue?
Yeah, I mean, it comes and goes. But
okay.
We're
end
losing,
of conversation.
We're losing Invisible in the next few months.
Invincible.
Invincible.
I can talk.
Walking Dead's still going, but again, numbers are stagnant on that. Saga's still going.
Told to introduce Daryl.
Just Jesus.
So.
Yeah. There hasn't been like a big indie hit this year, but I mean, there's still good stuff. So, let's burn through a couple of these questions quick, rapid fire.
That never happened.
Who's your favorite comic character? Friendship. I've always loved Spider-Man and the Human Torch.
Friends with benefits.
This is
Rogue
from Matt.
Rogue Gambit.
Oh, he says or relationships.
Okay, get it on Rogue Gambit. Shipping Bryce Larsen confirmed.
Blue and gold.
Yeah, hell yeah, blue and gold.
Yeah. Shipping them. Yeah.
Nightwing Gambit.
Nightwing.
Jesus Christ.
Toby and Nightwing. That's my favorite relationship right there.
Toby Wing, power bottom.
Jesus.
What?
Jesus.
What's so funny? That's like legitimately what he would do.
Okay.
What? That's fine. That's awesome.
Oh, I mean, the best relationship of comics of all time is Batman and Superman. Come on, guys. Come on, they're amazing. I love their relationship.
Oh, pull your head out of your ass.
What are you talking about?
Next question. That's such a boring answer. Yeah.
Have you been reading Super Sons?
No, I fucking haven't been reading Super Sons.
Speaking of Super Sons, problematic cartoon. I love you, man, but we're gonna disagree here. He says, "Can you guys recommend some good stories where Batman and Robin actually work together? I'm looking for older tales because, sorry, Ryan,
Batman and Robin.
I can't stand Damian Wayne. Damian's the best.
Yeah, Damian.
The best.
Wait a minute. What on earth is happening here?
Hashtag best Robin. Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Please
What
don't
is
do that.
even happening? I always agree with problematic cartoon, except that I love Damian.
Hell
and how
yeah.
are you agreeing with me? Because Damian Wayne is awesome, and you should hate him because I love him.
No, dude. Hate
him, Brian. Hate him.
You're telling me you don't read Super Sons?
I absolutely love Super Sons.
Okay.
Or,
Damian.
Damian, yep.
Yeah.
But you're not reading Super Sons.
You should read Super Sons. It's great. Jonathan.
No, fuck that shit. I will read anything that's a Batman title and none of your fake Batman titles.
It's Robin and Superboy.
No, you guys are you guys, DC. Might as well fucking be you guys. We need to sell more titles. Let's put any bat related character in here. Look, Damian is he's awesome.
He's the best.
But
okay. I mean, Batman and Robin. Yes, any Batman comic prior to 1987, Batman and Robin worked together.
Well, I mean, even when they relaunched
Dark Knight Returns,
I think you should just read any Tim.
They had the Tim Batman stuff in there.
Yep. Oh, the Rebirth stuff, right?
Yeah.
The current arc. Yeah. Yep.
Dark Knight Returns. They work together.
Yes, a Robin. Yes.
He said Batman and Robin.
Yeah. I mean, Dick Grayson was Robin till.
He's not saying this Robin.
No, he's saying any Robin.
Sure.
Except Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
He's not saying except for Damian Wayne. By the way, problematic cartoon.
Yes, he is saying besides Damian Wayne because he hates Damian, so he doesn't want to
Don't argue with him about everything.
No, I will argue with him about anything he's wrong about with his
Not about what people other people wrote.
Wait, what?
No, fuck you.
Next question.
Dude,
Rapid fire. Next
the
question.
best is the Morrison when Nightwing was Batman and he was working with Damian. Like it's such a good book. Oh, with Batcow. Yeah. But I mean, no, it's a consideration. I mean, the early Tim Drake stuff was really strong.
Look, problematic. All right, look, Higgins has no balls. This is the answer that you need. Nobody likes Robin.
What?
Get rid of Damian.
What?
Damian sucks. You know who's awesome? Batman.
What?
Go read good Batman story. And fuck Robin.
Like the early Tim Drake stuff is really good.
Oh, yeah. It's really good. You know what's better than any Robin story? Any good Batman story. So just go read a good Batman story and fucking Robin's fine, but just go read a good Batman story.
That happens to have Robin in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
No.
Ant asks, I'm interested in starting buying some omnibuses. What do you guys, what do you and Charlie recommend? Specifically, you and Charlie.
Wait,
who is you?
And he's a DC
Why are you looking
fan,
at me?
So.
It's
looking at Charlie.
Oh,
Why are you looking at me
DC
then?
fan.
Is he talking about you and Charlie or me and Charlie? Why are you
Well,
looking at me? You were looking at me.
It's an @Higgins tweet. So
Who could
he's
say? Who
mentioning
could prevent
him.
forest fires? You selected you. By you mean me. The correct answer is you.
The fuck just happened?
Simpsons joke. Don't worry about it.
What just happened?
Only who could prevent
Brock
forest
and
fires?
two other people laughed.
You chose you, meaning me.
Good job,
the correct
Higgins.
Why is
answer
that funny?
is you.
No.
Oh, go look this up.
The second time it was so much funnier.
One of my favorite.
Said
one of
nobody
my favorite Simpsons
ever.
jokes.
Why is that funny?
Leanne's laughing. That's all that matters.
Leanne has already muted you. She's so annoyed. Your jokes are so bad.
The Fourth World Jack Kirby
There's the
Omnibus
second Batman.
Yeah.
that myself and Charlie unboxing video Periscope on Twitter. It's friggin' credible.
Except for it has a scratch on it, so
Yeah,
Charlie can buy
that
it.
particular one. But yeah, we'll get more of them.
So now,
That's so
now
good.
I have to wait.
So it's a crit, except for you can't buy it.
No.
That's
Just that
okay.
one. We have many more. Don't worry.
Stuff is coming back in.
I would personally
Just
cut
a
it in
matter
half.
of time. You're not going to cut an omnibus in half.
Yes, that one. That one I'm going to cut in half because it's too big.
That one,
It's too big.
yeah.
What she
I
said.
mean, that one's worth talking about how
Too big.
it could have been like
You could
two
kill someone.
omnibuses
So,
or a hardcover series.
If you could kill
No,
someone,
no,
then
my-
it's too big.
It's
So-
very sexy, but it's very big.
Yeah, if you drop
Marvel
it from there, you can
and
kill
DC
someone.
both have the problem with certain, like the Infinite Crisis omnibus, this omnibus, the Walter Simonson Thor omnibus.
Yes, that one's too big too.
That's
all
the
they-
only Marvel one that's
Oh no, there's a couple other
Nope.
in Marvel.
Nope,
Yes,
Marvel's
there's-
great.
But all they really need to do is, because Marvel's already done this even with the Stephen King books.
Yes.
They put out a nice little slipcase with 2 hardcovers inside and call it an omnibus.
Yes.
That's all I want when it comes to those sizes, is just put in a slipcase with 2 hardcovers, charge
the normal price,
and it will sell and people will be happier.
So if that was the case, would you say that the Bryce is right?
Oh.
Was that you going, oh, in the middle of a yawn?
Yes. I said, oh ho, and I started yawning.
Your trolling of me knows no exhaustion limits. You will do it night or day, awake or asleep.
Dude, it's 8:40. I'm really tired, okay?
Yeah. You gotta do it in the midnight.
Past my bedtime.
You have several hours of DC TV to watch.
Yeah. Oh, God, so much. Yeah. So much.
He's like screams at Bryce's name in the middle of the night. Leanne's like, what's happening?
Leanne's like, I knew it.
Justin Grosjean asked, hello. How do you guys feel about Marvel hinting at official MPU?
Huh?
The Marvel Podcast Universe. Did you guys see this
Shoot
today?
me in the fucking face. That's dumb.
So we'll talk about what got announced today, and then we'll read this.
What
question.
got announced? I have no idea.
What got announced? I don't.
I'm wildly disagree with Brock. Like. Based on no context.
I'm just wondering how we can get added to the MPU.
I'm going to read...
I thought we were the MPU. And by we, I mean me.
I'm going to read Engadget's article, the top part of Engadget's article about this
top
today.
Parts?
The top part.
I'm going to make a circle with my arms, and this should be the MPU. Just me. Just me.
Okay.
Is it a circle with my arms? Is that bad radio? Because it's pretty self-explanatory. This is the...
This is MPU.
This is the MPU.
Looks like you're a middle school kid trying to dance with some girl.
Okay.
No. I would be way further away because when you're a dude in middle school, and ladies, if you're listening, you got this if you're dancing in middle school. The boy's going to stand a little further away because when you're 13 years old, you can't help.
Boing.
You get a little stiffy, and
boing.
You're 13 years old.
So Marvel is taking.
What are you going to do?
Marvel is taking Logan to the internet. The comics publisher has entered a partnership with Stitcher to produce a premium podcast starring the razor-clawed mutant called Wolverine: The Long Night. Weapon X. This person needs to stop this SEO stuff on this. Will be voiced by Richard Armitage, who has lent his voice to Castlevania, the Netflix's Castlevania series as Trevor Belmont. 10-episode season.
Wolverine is going to have a podcast.
The rest of the production, TechCrunch notes that the 10-episode season finds Wolverine hounded by investigators tracking a serial killer, and that it will debut next spring. It's part of their $35
Is
premium.
It basically just a radio play?
Yeah, it sounds like it's a radio play over a podcast.
It's
so there's going to be a lot of sound effects.
So it's a Marvel comic version of Serial, which was their very popular podcast.
Yeah.
Radio play, yes.
Possibly the most popular podcast ever.
Yeah, probably. I never listened to it, but I mean, everyone, it was huge.
Yeah, me neither, but that's just because...
growing up with an Asian mom who doesn't allow me to have TV time, I loved radio plays because that was not screen time.
Written by Ben Percy, who's currently writing Green Arrow. So, this is cool. I mean, so Charlie obviously is a humongous fan of the Doctor Who radio dramas. This is
from Big Finish,
same
and
thing,
then
right?
Amazon has the X-Files
Is it the same
ones.
thing, Higgins?
So it's not a podcast; it's a radio play.
I mean, it's being sold as a podcast, but it's obviously not a podcast.
Because the millennials aren't going to go for a radio play.
So you should have your boards and bags tweet the Marvel podcast about the real life issues.
Literal issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if it was a radio play, it'd be like, she is Wolverine. And,
what is this, Wolverine Noir?
Yeah. It'd be like, I'm going to throw on the old...
All I'm waiting for is the graphic novel version of this that they pump out after it's done. I can just imagine Can you just imagine the Foley guy on this show? Like, all right, I got to take these claws and I got to stab this and make this sound and how do you
Wolverine? Yeah.
Holy shit. I think that we should have a separate...
Everyone on this podcast but me is wetting themselves right now with laughter.
That's definitely not true.
I'm just laughing at Toby.
He's crying!
I will add to this Patreon that Ryan to be the fucking Wolverine.
There should be something behind the paywall that is just Toby laughing uncontrollably. Not in control of his bodily sounds.
Tickle me, Toby.
Or movements.
Jesus Christ.
It's just an old-timey radio. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was hilarious.
Those
but
old-timey Superman radio
all
plays
joy
and
is gone because I cannot laugh as hard as Toby. Holy shit. I wish, for those of you listening, you could have seen what we all saw. Toby's now pooped on the floor. He was laughing so hard. Oh my god.
Moving on from old-timey radio dramas. We got a couple questions about the Earth X crossover, the CW one. I just haven't had a chance to watch it. Toby has it. Charlie, you watched it.
You haven't watched it?
Dude,
I haven't watched it either.
So many shows to watch.
I have watched it.
It was
Some of it.
It was
I
on
watched all of
television
it.
while you were in the same room. You were just not conscious during it.
Yes. Actually, that's kind of correct.
Yeah,
I have bits and pieces that I've seen of all the episodes, and I know how it ends. And I know how it starts.
I'm caught up with Flash and DC Legends to those episodes, so I just need to watch part 1, part 2, part 3,
I'm
part
a
4.
couple back on Legends, and I think like one back on Arrow, and I've just been so busy I haven't had a chance to watch it. But Charlie, we could spoil tag this for 5 minutes if you want to give a quick review.
I'd rather have Higgins do more Wolverine.
Wait, I'm sorry. How did that go? Maybe you can give us your take first.
No, I'm too busy going.
It.
Higgins voices it. Toby does the sound effects.
Are you kidding? It's the exact opposite. I want Higgins to get Toby going, and then Toby to say anything, which is sort of beyond his purview right now. I mean, fucking giggle monster over here.
I'm actually too busy going. Hearing Toby laugh this much, there's times it reminds me of the Riddler from Batman 66.
That is a good one.
No,
that's a deep cut, though.
No onesies for me.
But Charlie, should we have people fast forward 5 minutes if they don't want spoilers for Earth X? And you can keep it light,
Sure.
and then we'll...
Yeah.
Earth X? Earth X, yeah.
Yeah, Crisis on Earth X. So, it was their big crossover. They did a very, very good job with bringing back certain characters and that kind of thing. I always do love sort of the multiverse stories, and the way they set up this story is a Earth 53. Basically, there was another Earth outside of the 52 Earths called Earth X. So I'm going to call it Earth 53, even though it's called Earth X. Is basically a Nazi Earth.
Yeah.
So they kind of combine elements of Red Sun. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have the I'm trying to remember what they called Supergirl in that world, but essentially you have a
Uber girl,
something like that.
Nazis.
She's the SS Supergirl.
Yeah.
Overgirl, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Overgirl.
But the way they kind of handle it is, so you have as I said, it's very much inspired by Red Sun, in my opinion. So you kind of have the sort of Red Sun dictator-esque Supergirl who's basically involved with that world's version of Green Arrow, who is the Fuhrer, basically, in this case, where he's the one that does all the plans, he rules all the people, he leads all the camps.
And is this one Stephen Amell?
Yeah.
Bad? Okay.
Yeah. They didn't really explain it, but you have Eobard Thawne from the normal world working with them, so they don't really explain how he gets there. But they also gave him back Harrison Wells' face. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing just to make it either the other guy wasn't available or they wanted to make it a little cheaper. Because I don't know why else they would do that, considering they've brought him back numerous times.
Harrison Wells looking as an evil doctor looks kind of scary.
Yeah.
Well, we got that cyborg one from the Council of the Wells. Oh, you're not there yet.
Yeah. I've seen all that.
Oh, yeah,
but,
saw that one.
Yeah.
They bring in Metallo, not as the big bad, but just as another person that they have. And, the first two episodes sort of deal with they're being invaded by these people. The third episode, you get to see what Earth X is like, and that was probably my favorite part of it. Like, I liked the part where they were on Earth X, and like you get to see some of the way that world unfolded. You get I think it's Citizen Cold in this case. So you have Earth X version of Captain Cold. You have the introduction of the Ray, who's actually from
Earth 1.
Yeah, Earth 1, but ended up on Earth X somehow and has been fighting the good fight there. Which is going to lead into the Freedom Fighters, the Ray CW Seed like animated series. So I'm kind of excited to see more of Earth X there. But I mean, it's exactly what you would expect. It's bad doppelgangers of various heroes or various villains of those heroes interacting with the characters from the Arrowverse, and it's great. Mm-hmm. You get a lot more sort of character interaction. I understand it's hard, but I do wish that they would have brought more people from Supergirl over to it, because it felt a little light on that side, even though they did figure out a way to bring in a little bit more as the episodes went on. Again, also, like, Legends felt like they brought in a couple, but didn't really get involved with them until later, similar to what you kind of had with some of the others. So it still has some of the general balancing stuff between the different shows that I would have liked to have seen more brought together when it would have made sense, rather than when it narratively, we're about to switch shows, so we need to bring these characters in.
Well, I know from talking to somebody that the intros, they don't have their specific intros for the show.
They just have
the Crisis intro.
Yeah.
So what's nice is you know when they go
it's
to
like
do
a 4-hour movie, right?
Yeah, but what's nice is when you go to like get the Blu-rays of each season, they'll just dump the Crisis stuff where it needs to go within that context. So, I mean, you buy Supergirl, Arrow, you'll have it 4 times, but
I don't know that they'll include all the... Because, I mean, I don't think they did that with the other crossovers.
They didn't? They should have.
I think they did just the individual episodes. I could be wrong on that, but I know at least with the first crossover, they didn't include, like, both parts on the... But that one was a looser crossover. But, yeah, no, it was cool. There were various highlights. There's a lot of sort of... I don't want to say stunt casting, but I mean, it kind of works out that way, because they seized every opportunity that they could to bring back familiar faces, to have various nods, to kind of go make it clear that this world, these are not the same people. Mm-hmm. Yet, in some cases, that was kind of hard for the characters, just as you would expect to not see them as sort of the counterparts. The action,
both from both sides too. Yeah.
The action, I loved the action on a lot of it. Like it
was super nonsensical superhero fun.
Yeah, I mean they did not skimp at all on the if we're gonna have 2 Supergirls fighting each other, they can fight in the air, fight on the ground, fight all over here. They took a lot of opportunities to sort of play around with settings and powers and all that, so it was very good. It definitely felt more. They took advantage of they're calling it Crisis. It's got to feel epic. It's got to be big. The motivation of the villains I liked, just because it was very straightforward. It was.
Yeah, I'm actually going to spoiler cast here, because I really liked how they dealt with Supergirl, who was kind of like Superman, so superpowered that it's hard to do stories around him, and the fact that the other Supergirl needed her heart kind of was an interesting take to take basically the most powerful character off the table.
That was their way of basically giving them the motivation on why they would cross over to this Earth. It wasn't just, we're here to conquer this planet. It was, nope, our Supergirl is dying. She needs a heart transplant. Where are we going to find a compatible heart?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I also liked Alex hooking up with the White Canary.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
It had a lot of fun little interactions between them, especially after that.
So where do they go from here? Because this seems to me, from an outsider that hasn't kept up with these shows, but liked the first 2 seasons of Arrow and the first season of Flash that I'd watched, and being very intrigued by this like mega crossover, by this crazy setup that they've got going at the CW. Where do you go?
I mean, that's assuming they keep doing the big crossover every year, I have no clue where they would go next year, especially if they because this is a problem that all shows kind of have when you set up a big event or a big bad, is there's always that, how do we outdo what we did last year? And at some point the answer is going to be, you can't.
The answer is you put Chicago in front of your name, and
the answer is you hire the mighty Toby.
Or that. Chicago or Toby. One of the two.
Yes.
The only thing they could really do at this point is really...
The Penta crossover with Black Lightning?
Ah, yes!
Whoa.
With all the characters that exist at this point, including villains and that kind of stuff, I'm guessing if they were going to try and top this, it would end up being one of those big, okay, do we either do a Legion of Doom? Do we do a... But of course, with the movie, who knows what they would do in terms of that. But, I mean, realistically at this point, especially now that they're establishing the Legion and everything else in Supergirl, they could have them all travel to the future next year. They could do all sorts of things.
Like a mega crossover every season.
That's what they've been doing. They've been going, how many shows do we have?
Every season?
No. Okay. Every time they've added a show, they're like, let's include them in the crossover.
All right.
I just think it's funny that Iris West finally got to work with John Diggle only to be married in front of him.
Yeah. Well, we have a question here from Julian Titus.
Julian Titus, who's put movies in front of all the letters of his name.
Higgins has been playing Animal Crossing during that entire...
He was like, oh, my cue, I have to wake up.
I've been trying to not pay attention. I don't want to spoil too much for myself.
He's trying to work on his Wolverine impression. He's like practicing.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, Cyclops, get over here.
What happens when you go berserk?
Julian Titus says, is it finally, speaking of Arrowverse, is it finally time for Arrowverse to have Batman and Superman? I wouldn't want them to show up all the time, but it's weird to not have them, it's weird to have all this stuff going on without them.
Superman is there.
Well, we have Superman. It's Supergirl.
Yes.
Right.
It's a different Earth.
Different Earth, but we could just bring them. Let's just say they're all together.
Yes.
I mean, we got the Bruce Wayne mention in Arrow a few weeks back, so... Stephen Amell
there was a Wonder Woman mention in DC.
Yeah, they had that mascara. Yeah, so I think it's sooner than later. But I think if they're going to, the best way to end Arrow would be to introduce a Arrowverse Batman show, just because that would, Arrow's kind of I wouldn't say their flagship show. Flash is their biggest show of all four of them, but Arrow is the first one and kind of the longest.
Heartbeat.
Yeah, and if you're ending
Draymond Green of the Arrowverse.
It's been 6 years. I mean, if it'll get one more year, 7 seasons is an incredible run.
Smallville.
They could, Smallville was 10. I mean,
it was
fucking
crazy.
Yeah, so I mean,
too long.
Even if we get 7 years of Arrow, they could easily slip a Batman series in right after that, right? And just
you could have him still around.
Arrow?
Yeah,
of course. So
I think that would be the way to go in some of these DC shows. That if you continue on, that the characters could come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be the best way to do it.
That's what I'd want. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the weird thing about some of the stuff that's gone on. Like, you had John Barrowman confirm his exit from the Arrowverse, and then you had Wentworth Miller recently confirm his exit of the Arrowverse, and I'm just kind of like,
why?
Why are you confirming an exit? Why,
to keep us on our toes a bit.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean,
is it officially called the Arrowverse?
No.
Yes.
Why is it not called the Batman Wannabe-verse?
No, it's called the DC Cinematic TV. No.
I mean, the Arrowverse is just that. I mean, they may call it that internally now, but that was just sort of
DC TV verse.
So that's just nomenclature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is how people generally refer to the shows at this point.
That's the different answer than my question was trying to identify if that's how they officially recognize themselves versus...
The show does never say Arrowverse.
They recognize themselves as Earth 1.
No, but unlike press conferences...
Every report that comes out about all these new shows or whatnot always will refer
report by pundits or official representatives?
Let's look it up online. Let's find out right now. Ryan, get on it.
Higgins!
Next question.
That's it. I mean, there's plenty more, but that's fine. We've gone on well long enough. Thank you, everyone.
Can I share a fun story from Heroes and Villains?
You sure can.
We met Chris Sullivan, who plays Toby on This Is Us, who I later then returned back with a bunch of lore prints to give out to Mandy and Chrissy, and they posted today on their Instagram stories about the stickers and Lord's artwork. So
did they really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
Nice.
really cool. It came almost like full circle, basically.
Nice.
It's like, from me to Chris and Chris to Instagram.
Toby's basically the best character on This Is Us, if you're watching This Is Us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Toby's also the
welcome.
best character on the Comic Conspiracy podcast. So
Yeah.
Well, that's
Take
false.
that, Bryce.
No, that is
Take
false.
that, Bryce.
he's-
Take that,
He's the
Bryce.
second best.
Take that, Bryce.
If that.
Do we ever get Toby's reaction to Toby Wing?
Yeah. That
I
was
mean,
a while ago.
can any Toby reaction be as good as his earlier reaction? Why would we even go there? Like, we'll just never get there again.
Leanne got to hang out with Kurt from Gilmore Girls, so that was cool. She went over and said hi for a minute. So
Very jealous of that.
Yeah. Also known as Rocket, and who else? Who else is he? Because he's the mocap for Rocket. I think
He
he
is?
something else too. Yeah. That's why he's there.
Wait,
But he's
what?
yeah. I mean, he's James Gunn's brother, right? Brother,
Yeah.
brother, right? Yeah.
But the
yeah,
voice is still the pretty boy from A-Team.
Yeah. But he's the mocap for Rocket.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
Kurt is the mocap for Rocket?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have Bradley Cooper do that shit? That's the pretty boy from
Yeah,
A-Team.
face.
Yeah.
Not Bradley Cooper, face.
Sorry.
Get that right.
I didn't know that he did the mocap. That's
Yeah.
well, I'm shocked to hear that they didn't just use the same actor. So they had.
I'm sure Bradley Cooper's a lot more expensive to actually have in the movie than.
Yeah, but if Vin Diesel could be Baby Groot mocapping, then Bradley Cooper sure
Was he
could be.
though?
I got you good,
I
though.
don't think. Yeah.
I'm not sure you got him good. I think that you got him averagely.
All right, fine. I'll get him good later.
Okay.
I
Challenge
mean, that
accepted.
opening dance sequence.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah.
That's Vin Diesel all the way. Actually, that's the director. Actually,
Is it really? Okay. I believe you. I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't
know.
believe him. I don't
know who
believe
they.
him.
I will show you.
You're just nodding. I'm not sure that you're even like trying
I'll
to be
show you.
serious.
Hold on.
Are you going to start dancing? Take off your pants? What is happening?
Well, anyway,
He hasn't gotten to no pants yet.
we're gonna wrap
He's
this
gonna get
episode.
to know
Toby,
pants.
put it away.
He's going to no pants right now.
No, I will not make out with you.
He's going
Toby,
to no pants right
Toby,
now.
put it away.
Speaking of no pants, let's thank our good friends on Patreon. We're going to do our big backs next week. We just got it just processed today. We still haven't got everything done, so don't worry, guys. Next week
Is
at
this
all
where
our
I drop random
all
pics?
our big. Yeah, it's way too long. Sorry. Okay, guys, you know we do the random picks. We can do them a lot. We've random picked all through this episode. It's fine. It's a 2-hour podcast. What do you want?
I have a random pick.
what's your random pick?
Higgins
Mayor Fist.
Wolverine radio play.
You're fucking the silly man.
I think everybody's random pick at this point is the Comics Conspiracy board and bag Twitter account.
Yeah, there you go.
That too. But
No,
I'm
it's
still
Mayor
on the
Fist.
Higgins Wolverine show.
Mayor Fisk.
Batman Annual 2, if you are on the fence, definitely go buy it.
All right, that's a random pick from everybody.
Well, and sure, and Bryce wants to random pick
Astonishing X-Men number 5.
Oh yeah, he has
the Mayor
his
Fisk
Marvel
arc
shit. All right,
of
let's go.
Daredevil.
Have you read it?
Daredevil? No, I haven't read any of the recent Soul stuff.
I know that I'm safe asking you.
What?
Just, any Marvel book, because
I read a bunch. I did read a bunch.
95% chance you haven't read it.
No, I've read a bunch of them.
No, you got to remember he reads all the bad books because he doesn't want to buy them. So he technically has a higher chance of reading the Marvel books than the DC ones. Right?
That's true,
Right?
that's true.
Right? See, I'm not wrong.
We'll do some random picks next. Oh wait, next week. How are we doing next week? You're not going to be here next week.
Yes, fucking fuck.
Wow.
I have
Yeah.
a master
So
plan.
eloquent.
Well, because we have
A master plan.
a bunch of random episodes where
We have non-traditional episodes coming up.
By we, I mean me, are not going to be around.
Yes,
So
Because you
we're
go fluff the tree.
We're going to have some doubles
Nobody
wrong with
understood
you?
it.
that we're going to split between episodes.
silly
We're going to
man.
do our end of year stuff. So we're going to have some very non-traditional episodes for the next.
Are we giving our listeners another 0.5?
No, God, no. No.
I like where this is
Higgins
going.
Wolverine radio play.
Did you get a shiver because you're agreeing with me?
Like, what did you hear?
Yes.
What came out of your mouth? Obviously,
That's not.
It was your inner Dick Tracy coming
That's
out.
not.
that's your berserker Wolverine.
like I did not do that. I don't know.
There's so many cartoon images of you that came out of this podcast.
Why are you so ridiculous today? You are literally crying. He's got tears. He literally has tears coming out of his eyes from laughing so hard.
No, they're coming out like across his nose.
I didn't do that. I'm going to rewind this podcast just to make sure that I didn't make those noises. I'm pretty sure nothing like that happened.
If you listen to this podcast, can you please loop what makes Toby laugh so hard and post it to Twitter tomorrow?
But let's thank
it wouldn't work for anybody but Toby.
Let's thank our good friends on Patreon.
It's like a tickle
and
me
Toby is
over
perennially
here.
like 2 weeks behind on Twitter, so it wouldn't even make sense.
Like at least you reply when I ping you 12 times in a thread.
No, I check my Twitter just to check your trolling comments once or twice a day. And
Julian Titus has the Nerds Without Pants podcast at .com. There we go. Oh, I was waiting for it. So I caught Toby off guard. Okay, there we go.
Good man.
Pixelbit.com. I seriously didn't do that. I don't know. Pixelbit.com. I don't understand.
This podcast is slowly disintegrating.
Ryan has blowhards at blowhards.libsyn.com. That is a podcast about video games and not Wolverine radio dramas.
I've entered the bizarre world where you are all laughing harder than me.
Jody Lawson.
What world am I living in? You're always laughing.
As canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicstudio.com. Thank our good friends Manoa Place, Sam Chea, Talon Break, Craig Anderson, Joe Duff. None of you will be donating again after this episode, I'm sure. But thank you all very much for your donations when you still listen to this podcast.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate all of it.
We'll start a new Patreon for Ryan's Wolverine show.
You can find this podcast at comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and iTunes. Please rate and review us. It always helps. The Comic Conspiracy, geekbox.net is that long form. If you want to send us long form questions, that's a good place for that. Patreon.com/comicconspiracy, where, yes, we will give you some random picks next week. I promise. Don't worry about it.
No, we won't.
We'll have more time. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz, where you can buy all your digital comics. And a lot of you bought a lot of digital comics during Black Friday and all the crazy sales. Thank you very, very much. Every purchase through there. You bought some?
Yeah,
nice.
through the store.
Every purchase through that site does actually give a little bit of money to the store.
I'm sorry, I couldn't pass up the Scott Snyder
it was ridiculous
collection of Swamp Thing for $5.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how big their sales were. So check that regularly because they had big sales. SpiritofBrock.com, that's Brock's blog and video pull list. Wanderers of the Fourth Dimension, that's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. You guys are in the wild years now. What are they called now? What are they? Or has it aired yet?
Years.
Huh? Wilderness years, that's it.
The final episode of Classic is finally being released on Thursday this week. So
nice, final episode.
The final Classic episode will be released this week, and then we'll go into the Wilderness years.
That's incredible.
And then we will catch up to where we started in Modern.
Yeah. Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. That is my wife's Leanne's Etsy store. If you're looking for a very last minute gift, she's doing commissions. She's doing. We got a ton of prints on there. Oh, if you ordered the print, the Comic Conspiracy print that Leanne did, they are on their way to us. We'll have those signed and shipped out ASAP. We have all the packing material and everything, so very soon. My hope is we'll get those out like by Monday of next week. That's my plan. You could still order them. comicsconspiracy.biz. We have a bunch extra still, so don't worry. Go order it on there. Ship it out. You should get it before Christmas.
And if you want to get some stuff for Christmas from us,
yeah, of course,
get it in this week so we can get it shipped out Monday.
You worded that wrong. This just meant you're going to buy Christmas gifts for people.
If people buy Christmas gifts for people,
yeah. The print is of the five of us. It'll be signed by the five of us. Art by Leanne. We'll all sign it. So. Definitely jump on and order a copy of that print.
Notes by request
if you want to. Join us on Twitter. I'm Ryan Higgins. Ryan. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie is Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. The Comic Conspiracy Bags and Boards account is CCB&G at CCB&G.
You better get it now before someone's
going to take it before you will.
You got to do it now.
Well, if he doesn't, one of our listeners will take it and start tweeting from it.
Yeah, they're going to start a fight with Bryce Larsen quotes. The Comic Conspiracy Bag and Boards.
No,
Twitter.com/CC BNG. CCBNB. CCBNB is Brenda Bonesteel, who has one follower, joined in September 2014, and hasn't tweeted. Brenda, get out of there.
It's a bot. It's a bot.
It is. They're probably a big Trump fan. Give me back my my podcast handle.
You can't get any decent handles.
Geekbox, Comedy Button, good job. Well, let's redo this. Geekbox, you can listen to. It's a podcast. I'm on it. Comedy Button, good job, Brain, is on, I believe at this point, basically hiatus. I will continue to mention it because you should listen to it, but there are new episodes. All Talk Podcast is ending. Ending in its traditional form. They are going to be doing continuing Manga Machinations, which is their manga podcast. I should actually add to my permanent list here. Infinite Binge, which is their TV movie podcast. So they've All Talk has kind of gone in two different directions. Manga Machinations have been going on for a while. Infinite Binge is more recent, but all the same guys from the community. They still have the Discord, the Geekbox Discord, which is, I believe, Discord.me/Geekbox. I believe that's correct. I don't have the top of my head, but I'm in it, so I'm on that. I read it all the time. So there will still be an end of the year for All Talk, and the guys are still around, just moving on to other stuff. So a few of the regular podcasts that are part of our little network are changing, but that's good. Change is all right. It happens. Thank you guys all very much for being on this podcast and listening. And yeah, we're going to do a bunch of non-traditional episodes for the next few weeks. We're going to be cutting them up. We're going to be doing a bunch of win stuff because of the holidays and end of year list and yada, yada, yada. But whatever, we'll get to it. So, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Llama, llama, red pajama with the baby mama.